gamers, and welcome to episode 440 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for December 23rd, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on, Dominic?
Man, it's the holidays, man. So by the time you hear this podcast, most likely Christmas will be over. So I hope you had a happy holiday or Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, man, we're basically at year's end. So yeah, I mean, we already talked about the Game Awards and stuff like that. So really, we're just getting ready for ours. And because I was just thinking about like how many games I played this year that came out this year. Not a ton. Definitely, well, never nowhere near a ton. It's been like that for some years now.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about all the when we do the half-ass, like what games I would have liked that would came out this year. And I can tell you this, it would have been Zelda or Spider-Man, so that I know that. Even though I did play Zelda, I did play Spider-Man. I played very little Zelda. That doesn't count. But anyway, I get right to it. So like sports, so I haven't talked about that in a while. I know my Washington team. I'm hoping they don't mess up the draft pick probability. I hope they continue to lose. They looked like they were trying to win yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, last week, and I was scared because they took out their starting quarterback and put in the backup, and he's a veteran backup, and Brissett, and the offense looks like it was clicking when he came in, and I was like, oh no, I don't want this. It's like, what are we doing? So they said that they only took him out because of protection. Sam Howell, our starter, which is bullshit because he's been hit more in other games, and they didn't take him out when they were losing. Yeah. And this one, he only been hit like twice. He been sacked once and then hit once. So I was like, protection. I was like, I don't know. I was like, look. The other guy coming in looking better. I mean, better does bring people to question, like, oh, is Sam Howell even that good? Should he be our future? Which it doesn't matter to me because I feel like if we get a high enough draft a quarterback regardless, and then, hey, the better man wins out after that.
Yeah.
So because I don't care. I just need the best we can. We need a quarterback. We need to know what quarterback we're gonna have going forward. But doing that, I'm like, I don't want to win any games. Like, I don't want any games. Keep Sam Howell in, so we'll at least let him just finish the season. Let him play a whole freaking season. We see what we have, so you can know what to do. Like, what you really want to do. I mean, even though I still think you should draft a quarterback if you're still able to get one of the top quarterback picks, that's available at the time, but yeah, I didn't like that. I like that at all. Them taking him out because it's like, man, no, we don't need this. Like it. Only reason you take him out is if he's injured. That's the only reason. Other than that, like the rest of the sport, I mean, NFL, man, it's the only dominant team is the 49ers. Cowboys were going to run, but like I said, I never believe in the Cowboys because they always seem to lose like the first round of playoffs, or they might make it to the second round, but they lose there. But most of the time it's the first playoff game they play. And thing is, that I said that they haven't beat anybody over 500. Like they haven't beat any like big name teams. They did beat the Eagles though since we last talked. But the Eagles have been looking bad recently. They lost 3 in a row. So then the Cowboys got their butts whipped by Buffalo. Like they just whooped them. So it's like, oh, well, see, that's another team that's pretty decent. And actually, Buffalo hasn't been doing that great this year, but they're kind of doing better now. And then they met the Cowboys, and they not only did they just beat them, like it wasn't like a close game, they whooped them. So it's like, Cowboys or whatever. So it's like, I don't believe in them. 49ers look like they're the best team in maybe the NFL. We'll see when they play the Ravens because they have the 2 best records. So somebody's coming out on top, or it could be a tie. I mean, technically it could be a tie. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, so yeah, I really want to see that game. Like, man, a lot of people want to see that game. That's like basically the game of the week. It's on Monday Night Football too, so that's great. Uh, I know my friend. His favorite team is the 49ers. He likes the Ravens too. He's kind of like me. Like he likes the Ravens. I think he likes the Ravens more than I do. Um, but his favorite team is the 49ers, so he's going to root for them when they play against the Ravens. I kind of don't care. I mean, I kind of like, hey, I root for him since I root for him because I know that's his favorite team. So I was like, yeah, I root for them. But I mean, playing against the Ravens, I don't. I mean, I like Lamar Jackson, so it's like it's a win-win for me. Whoever wins, whatever happens. The anything else on the NFL? I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all I really care to talk about. Like everybody else is kind of just bunched up. Like it's like it's almost anyone's game. A lot of teams that are really close, so these games that look, the NFL writes a good script. They write a good script, and they do it every year. And this one, like a lot of injuries happen. A lot of injuries have happened. That's what's really disappointing about this year. A lot, especially as for starting quarterbacks being hurt. But there's people who's been coming out, like Joe Flacco. He just came back and now he's killing it for the Browns. The Browns got a chance, man. I mean, the Browns are looking good, like right now in their playoff spot.
Elite quarterbacks can't be held down, Dominic.
And then you have the Cincinnati, the Bengals. They like their Burrow got hurt and now their backup Browning has been doing good for them. So I'm shocked by that. Like I'm shocked that these teams have stayed afloat to be that good. I mean, the Browns have a good team. They just really quarterback is where they think that's where the problem is, and it's something that they paid Watson that money, but first of all, he was suspended last year, so that's understandable. But and him coming back being rusty because he's been gone for so long from this previous injury, that it's and plus with all the off the field shit, it was understandable. And this year he hasn't really done great. He still didn't look that great. So when he was on the field, but he got hurt, and they had backups come in, and then they finally got Flacco, who I mean they called up. He was sitting at home. But he came in, man, and he's done his thing. So good for him. Yeah. And then Browning, I don't even know who the hell he is. But he's been doing, he's been doing it well, man, for Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, who were kind of struggling even when Burrow was playing. And now they're in the hunt. The Steelers are like they look, well, their quarterback got hurt, and they unfortunately they didn't have a backup that can come up like the other two teams did. It kind of sucks for them, but they are playing the Bengals again, so I'll see what happened with them this week. And yeah, man, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy season, but that's the NFL. They know what they some great writers over there. They ain't going strike. Those writers are not going strike, Daniel. So that's good. Basketball, my team still sucks, but they're not the worst team. The worst team is Detroit Pistons, who are people on the verge. People say they might be on the verge of breaking the record for the most losses in a row.
Oh, jeez.
So we're rooting for that. We love to see history. I mean, at least they got. That's why I said to my brother. I said, well, at least they got that going for them. Like my Wizards, they just suck.
Yeah.
Like I wish I can have like a record of them losing so many games in a row. At least I can root for that and say, hey, I was there for that. I was there for that horrible ass team.
They're making history.
But Detroit, that's pretty bad because they were there for the Lions going winless. They were the first team to go winless, not win any games.
Yeah.
And now they might be history for basketball for the most losses in a row. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome to have that. You can have that in your sports history. Say, yeah, we're the town of losers. That's where we are. But anyway, oh yeah, locally, there's been. Oh yeah, they're trying to move the Wizards and the Capitals to Northern Virginia. What is it? It's not Arlington, right? It's
like Alexandria.
What's the airport at?
Reagan, or whatever it's called now, National.
Yeah, but what's the area called?
Fuck.
Damn, let me look it up. They're trying to, because the owner came out. They had was it a mayor? I don't think it was. Oh, the governor, or I don't know. I don't think it was the governor of Virginia, was it? But I don't know. They had a lot of politicians and stuff, and they were just all giddy about moving. And I'm just saying, like, I don't know how are fans happy. It's like about this, and it didn't seem like, especially people.
Yeah, it's a new
live
complex in Alexandria.
Alexandria, okay, yeah. To especially fans who are like close to the city or who live in like near like the like Maryland area of that, the DMV area, or like the Maryland part, because that's a farther drive, and I think it's 4 miles away from its original location. Which 4 miles, that like from a city, that's far,
yeah.
And plus with traffic, like that's hell. From there, and thing is, like it's for him, it's good. Like they're talking about they could possibly get $1 billion of tax money to help build like a facility over there, and I mean, yeah, for him, I think like that's great. And in the city,
great, more tax.
I think
money.
he was asking for $6 million. The city, they came up with $5 million like on like last week, saying they can pay that, but like Bowser said that, but she basically just said like we can't compete. Like if they're looking for a more suburban area, of course we're not it. If they want city life, like we got it, but suburban area, that's what they got. And I just look at it as like, I mean, this is what's been happening with everything, like pricing people out and like going to places like, it's just where the money is. And so it's pretty bad because that's Chinatown and how that is a big part of Chinatown and its businesses there, even though there's some businesses I heard that were shut down. Now, a lot of people say, oh, because the crime is really bad. But I know it's like people who say that are not people who regularly go there. Like it's just like Baltimore.
Right.
Like look at statistics and stuff. Crime is fucking horrible. It's horrible. And there is crime that has gone up, but crime's gone up everywhere. I mean, it's like one of the worst here, but crime has gone up everywhere. And obviously, if you just look at the economy, you'll see why. But I was just listening to a radio station of these guys who talk about sports, and they go to game stuff, and these guys they sound like guys. If they was really bad, they will say it was bad. Like they're typically, I mean, they're white dudes and stuff like that. But they seem like if this is a bad place, they will say it. But for them to come out and say like, look, they go there, they never felt threatened. They say it's really just people outside. Like some people are just kind of exaggerating it, you know. Like they really is that like even though like statistically
people that don't
like
know that just need to ignore the people who are on drugs and they aren't going to bother.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you just like it's like they never felt threatened being there or like felt like, oh, I gotta go hold something tight and hurry to get to my car from the game. Yeah, cause that's me. I remember like I was arguing with my dad. I was saying like when people talk about like the crime in the city. And like even Baltimore, I always said like, how many people got? I said, but I mean, I just never hear about it. But are people getting killed, or how many people are getting robbed or killed like going to the games?
Right.
Like the Oriole games and the Ravens games. Like what is that? Is that like a big statistic? Well, obviously it's not hurting the Ravens because the Ravens are still selling out tickets. So obviously it's not. If that's happening, it's not. People seem to still want to go. But. Because football's popular, but like, is that a thing? But he was mentioned like, well, you know about the that riot that happened, but that's it. That's what everybody always go back to.
What riot?
That's the only thing y'all go back to. Yeah, and how many years ago was that? And look at what happened. Like for that riot. I mean, so what? Like that's the only thing. Like
Freddie Gray riots? What are we talking about here?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
That one. So I'm like,
because that didn't happen for a very specific reason. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, but that happened like how many years ago? And that's the only incident that it seems like you always just bring up. I said, okay, that's one.
And I mean we're
shit happened.
adjacent to this city, but like that stuff was spilling out into the county too. So like, why is that's not any safer?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, look, but I get it. But it's all about perception, though. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't matter if the truth, because for him it could be like, hey, we're moving here and it's safer, so people gonna feel like, oh, I'm safe. I can go here, and there's not a lot of Negroes, so they're happy. I mean, I'm just speaking the truth. I mean, that's just what it is. I'm just
trying to think where in friggin' Arlington they would put at least one new complex. Like that.
You see the.
Oh, do they have like a proposed spot?
Yeah, I thought you were looking at it. I thought you were looking when you was looking it up.
I saw that, but I didn't see that they actually had like a proposed thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, they got a whole set. It looked real nice. Like they got a.
Okay, it's that really spot nice. Right on the waterfront, of course. So it's probably that spot right there.
So it's like a place that I'll probably never ever see a game ever in my life. I mean, I like the Caps. I don't give a shit about. So I mean, I only care about the.
Oh, it's right there off the airport.
Playoffs.
Oh Jesus.
That's what I said. The airport.
No, I know you said that, but I didn't know you meant like directly by the airport in the way that this image is showing. Like I'm seeing the rain. You know, they're going to be flying overhead, taking off.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna be nice there. You can just drop in. You can just get off the plane and just go right in. But yeah. So yeah, I remember. But then again, somebody did mention that guy Kelsey mentioned like, hey, if this opens up the possibility of the Commanders getting a stadium in Washington, if they move out because they're gonna want something else there. Like a big sports team, because all they're gonna have is the Nationals, the baseball team, and it's like, hey, I think most people will be if there was a choice between losing the Caps and the Wizards and getting the football team there and just having baseball and the football team, they would take that. And I was like, hell yeah,
yeah.
Like, yeah, we need to move out because first of all, the owner of the Caps and the Wizards. First of all, hockey. I mean, I like the hockey team's been great. Yeah. For some years.
I mean, they're the only champions out of
but it's
that
hockey.
City, so.
But it's hockey. Well, Nationals. I mean, Nationals got a World Series.
Yeah.
But it's hockey, so it's not. It's still niche. And then Wizards, you fucking destroyed the Wizards. like somebody said, he is lucky. Ted Leonsis, he's the owner. He is lucky that the Commanders are with Snyder. Snyder was the owner for like 20 plus years, 25 years or something like that, whatever. Like he's lucky that he was the owner because it really kept him out of the limelight from the stuff he did. Like cause how bad the Wizards have been, because of how bad Snyder's been for the Commanders / Redskins, because football is so much bigger. Like nobody looked at the basketball, and you realize, like, yeah, this basketball has been running that well either. But now that's gone, and so like, yeah, like I was talking about, he wants to move. It's like, yeah, I don't want them to move because I'd rather you have a team that's actually in the freaking city, and you'll be the only basketball team that's not in a city. Like all basketball teams are in a city,
yeah,
because arenas are in cities. So it's not an outside, like it's not like football where you have to have a field, or baseball. You know, you have to have field and grass and stuff like that. Or if you do turf in football, you still need a lot of space. Yeah, they'll be the only ones who are not in the city. It just wouldn't be right. But hey, it's like, well, you wonder what's like, you know what? If this means that possibly the Commanders could get a deal to have a stadium in the city, yeah, I'll take it. Y'all can go, because it ain't like y'all winning shit anyway. There in basketball and hockey. I don't know what's going on in hockey. Honestly, I mean I think they're doing okay. I mean, if you like, I think they're competitive. So I mean, that's good. I'm not into hockey, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, so that's basically it for sports. Oh yeah, baseball. Shohei Ohtani is getting paid like 700 mil for 10 years. 10 years, 700 mil, and it's all deferred. He's only getting like 2 mil I think about 2 mil a year or so. Excuse me. While he's actually playing, that's what I read. So it's all back end so that it can be easier for them to actually get people, to come to the team.
Oh, okay. So it's a way to get around the cap, basically, right?
Yeah, well, it's not really baseball doesn't really have a cap. They have a luxury tax or something. So, thing is, some people, they pay the luxury tax. Mm-hmm. Like the big teams, sometimes they'll just pay the luxury tax because they can afford it. Mm-hmm. But in baseball, I will say this. For the last so many years, like 10 or somebody put a statistic, the highest paid team hasn't won, only won twice. Mm-hmm. That team's been in top three in payroll. Has only won twice or something like that. So it's not really buy and you win like it was in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It hasn't been like that in the more recent years. But it does help. That's and sometimes it don't. Sometimes like the Mets were the highest paid team. They didn't make the playoffs. And the Padres paid a shitload and they didn't make the playoffs. So sometimes, hey, it doesn't. The gamble doesn't work, but sometimes it does. Like with Texas Rangers, they're one of the top paying teams, and they did win. And they paid a lot during the free agency. They put money in, and they won. So yeah, Shohei Ohtani. So he's on the Dodgers. He's on the Dodgers. If I don't know if I can say the team, but but yeah. So he's still in LA technically, because he was an Anaheim Angel, so he doesn't have to go anywhere. It sucks. I didn't want him to be on the Dodgers. I kind of wanted him to be on San Francisco, honestly. If he was going to stay in California, I wanted him to be in San Francisco. But yeah, so he's a Dodger, and good for him, man. I mean, the guy's also, but he won't be pitching next year for an injury because of an injury. He will be hitting though, and he's a great hitter. Mm-hmm. But I wonder, will he ever pitch too? Because would it be something like, oh, this injury is just too much, and they'll just hit her? That'd be disappointing. And then that kind of changes things because he's getting paid 700 mil. Yeah. And if he doesn't that 700 mil, I'm thinking
you gotta use
that's
all your
because
skills.
He can pitch. That's because he can pitch too. Because there's other hitters who are great too, and they'll get paid nowhere near that much. and yeah, so that could be. I wonder if he doesn't pitch after next year. He doesn't pitch. You're gonna have people being like, "Yo, this guy getting paid this money, and I think I'm a better hitter than him, or at least close to him." Well, what are we doing here? It's like, yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so I think that they did do something else too, but I held up the news, so I'll probably mention it next week or whenever we do a podcast again. So that's it. So any big wrestling news happen?
No, nothing big since the CM Punk returning to WWE, and that hasn't really necessarily gone anywhere just yet. We're leading up to the Royal Rumble, which is at the end of January, and that's kind of where things are going right now. They're gonna do a big thing on Raw because it's gonna be, the first day of the year, and they're gonna kind of make that into a pseudo pay-per-view type thing, but it's not gonna be, the big thing like the Rumble is. And AEW is still just kind of trucking along. They're doing a tournament right now, the CC, the Continental Classic, which is kind of their equivalent to the G1 that New Japan does, where you have kind of brackets and groups of people doing things. And they've had a lot of good matches coming out of that, but nothing big storyline wise right now.
All right. So, where we at here? We're at what we're watching. So, Fargo has started a new season.
Oh, okay.
This year, like some weeks before, I've caught it up. I think I'm only one episode behind. I came out this week. It's been good. It stars the woman from Ted Lasso.
Oh, okay.
Keely is the star up there. I know. Ham or whatever his name is from
Mad Men.
Mad Men. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
John.
also in there too. He's like one of the antagonists. And yeah, it's pretty good. I've enjoyed it so far. It's that dark comedy that as always is. I really like it. It's like it takes place around Halloween. I see like Nightmare Before Christmas stuff happen. Like they had the music, and one time people was in the costumes, something like that. But yeah, so she's talking with that kind of Minnesotan or like that North mid American North, accent,
Borderline
like,
Canadian.
Like it sounds funny. It sounds funny because I know how she talks.
I was gonna say, does she pull it off well?
Well, I think they purposely supposed to sound exaggerated because everybody does that.
Oh, okay.
Every Fargo, everybody talks with an accent.
Well, yeah.
All the actors who plays it, and I don't think it's supposed to be. If it is supposed to be realistic, then yeah, those motherfuckers sound weird. Like the only person I know was Pam.
It can be weird, Dominic. It can be weird.
that Pam.
Yeah.
That Pam. And it kind of sounds like her.
Yeah.
But I bet it sounds like a more exaggerated her to me. With some people though.
Yeah.
But it does sound like her.
But she was like Michigan, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like once you get into like Minnesota and Wisconsin and stuff like that, it gets to be a lot heavier and thicker.
Oh, okay. So yeah, well, in North Dakota, North Dakota, South Dakota, cause that's where Fargo. Right. I think it's Fargo, South Dakota or North Dakota. I forget.
I think it's North Dakota.
North Dakota. Okay.
Because I feel like there's nothing in South Dakota, but I could have those mixed up.
I think South Dakota does have. I thought South Dakota was the one that has something. And North Dakota wasn't.
I don't know. Maybe. How about neither of them have anything, Dominic?
Yeah, South Dakota has the goddamn presidents, Daniel.
No, that's nothing.
Mount Rushmore.
That's nothing.
That's why I went. Yeah, because I don't know what's in North Dakota.
Okay. Fargo. Exactly. That's it.
Yeah, Fargo. So that's what it is. Yeah, but that's only because of the movie.
I was going to say, I guess that's the whole thing, right? Is like the movie is based on there's nothing happening up there. So like, yeah.
Yeah, except for killing.
Exactly. Murders.
Except for killings murders, and which I thought was a true story because that's what it said at the beginning of the goddamn movie. I thought somebody really put somebody in a wood chipper, man. No, I was like, oh damn, man, they people down crazy up there. Yeah. All right, but anyway, so yeah, I've been watching that, and yeah, it's been pretty good. It's 3 more episodes left. At least they don't take a break like Invincible. I heard my friend said that Invincible is taking a break.
Yeah,
like
I think they split up the 2 parts of the season, so that's part of why. Like after watching part of that first episode, and then you talking about like, oh yeah, it's a weekly thing. And then I saw that it was going to be split. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to worry about this right now. I don't think.
Because that's what he told me. He said, don't bother. Because I was like, because he was saying he watched it, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll go check it out. He said, don't bother because they're about to go on a break. Yeah. It's like a break? I say, this is a streaming service. I was like, this is the whole point. You just keep going. Well, first of all, I don't like that you just don't put them all out. But if you're going to go weekly, like just for like, clicks or whatever the fuck y'all do, the algorithm, I don't know. But like you want to take a break, like, we want to take a break now because of the winter break. It's like, what the fuck out of here. People watch when they want to watch. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just think stupid. So that's what, yeah. So I'm just gonna wait. Till it's all out there. All right. What else have I watched? I did watch the first season of Star Trek. I don't remember it. The new Star Trek, Trek, the New Worlds.
Okay.
Which is based on Pike. Like that's because a lot of people have been saying like, this is the best new one that has come out, and I totally agree because this is actually seem like it's because it's just like the old series where like each episode is its own story. It's not a one like big long story like series where you have to watch every episode to know what the fuck's going on. Like they did with the Discovery. Well, see, that's the thing. Discovery is what I thought this was. Like what this series is what I thought Discovery was going to be. with the name Discovery, that's what I thought. And I mean, but it did not turn out to be that way, and it didn't turn out to be that great. But this one, a lot of people, man, they really like it. They really enjoy it, and I watched it. I said, yeah, this was actually pretty good. I said, this is really good. This is what I thought of Star Trek, the new Star Trek would be. And it's very fitting. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Like the guy who plays Spock is good. Pike, I do enjoy him. The person who played Aurora, I mean, she's fine. Oh, the whole cast is fine. Like the whole cast. I think that's one of the problems with Discovery is that I only know like 3 people, three to 4 or 5. Like the main crew. It's not really the people I see all the time. Some of them are just I don't know them. Like I don't know them enough to care about them. Like they do in the other Star Trek series. But this one does. I also finished watching Picard's second season. That was horrible. But I heard that the third season is supposed to be really good. I think they actually got nominated or something. So I said, "Oh, well, I guess I'll watch third season." Because I was really about to just say stop and say, "Man, I ain't watching the rest of this." And honestly, I just had it on in the background the last few episodes. It's just one of those characters I just can't stand. Like it's just. Like her lines of it's not her. It's really her lines of dialogue was just bad. I don't know what they were going for here, and I just didn't like it. And then I see Whoopi Goldberg. See, it sucks because I've seen her after the comment she made about young people. Be like how we don't work, Daniel, millennials.
Yeah, of course not.
And stuff like that. Like seeing her, like I wish I would have watched the episode before I saw her in there, because then I seen her, I was like, man, fuck you. I was like, I don't care about seeing your ass. I was like, person who don't know shit about the world outside her, basically her worldview, like where she, like her bubble. What else have I watched? Let me see, where am I at? Oh, darn, I left the page. And now I have to find where is...
The only thing else you have under watching is Tales of Revelry, but I figure that's game, right?
No, yeah. Oh, shit. I put it under there again. Oh, yeah. That's a video game. Yeah. So it's just South Park. So you watched that too. But did you watch anything else?
Nah, nothing else really worth talking about.
Okay, so yeah. South Park had a new special. What was it called?
What is it called? After Dark.
Yeah, something only. Like it's not acceptable for children or something like that.
Definitely not.
Like, I mean, no, South Park is, but that was like a part of the title.
I'll let my kid usually watch them, but yeah.
But yeah, so go ahead, man, because I've been talking.
Yeah, South Park not suitable for children. Yeah, and it is definitely not suitable for children. It kind of goes 2 paths. One of them is all the kids getting into Cred, which is a new hydration drink, basically the equivalent in real life of Logan Paul and what's the other dude's name? KSI, I think their energy drink Prime, and then Randy is going down the OnlyFans path because one of the teachers at school, they find out that she had an OnlyFans, and Randy's just sitting there like, oh man, I could make side hustle off of this, absolutely. Because what they say, the teacher was making like $10,000 a week or something like that.
Yes.
Like, man. I thought overall the episode was pretty good. I mean, this is an episode after like the past couple that's like a lot lighter in tone, you know, like
it definitely is. Yeah,
the subject matter is a lot lighter, I guess is what I should say. You know, like you're talking about, you know, well, I say that, but like the effects that like the influencer culture can have on kids is actually kind of really bad.
No, they influence them very well, Daniel.
but they take a kind of it's not a particularly heavy hand to them, which maybe I don't know. Maybe
it's not very it's not very controversial. Really.
No, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is kind of bad, and they don't even really like punch hard on it. It's just like, oh yeah, this thing is bad, and they're doing it. You should maybe look into it, I guess. But yeah, they talk a lot about how, like, oh yeah, this cred stuff isn't for kids, but it's very much marketed for kids, and that's where the crossover with like Randy's OnlyFans comes in, because he's like pouring prime or cred on his nuts and stuff, and then his views go up, and people are like, yeah, but it's kids watching this. It's like, no, the demographics say that it's 21-year-olds on my platform. It's like, yeah, because these companies are lying to you, because they know that people don't want things sold to their kids, but the reality is that's who's watching a lot of this stuff, whether it be influencer videos like fucking what's his name, Andrew Tate, or whether it even be adult content. I'm sure there's
or Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. How dare you? Don't attack Joe Rogan. Yeah, so like I said, overall, I think this episode was pretty enjoyable.
We influence kids.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing a good enough job, Dominic. Maybe it's time to pour some prime on this podcast or something.
We ain't got no advertising.
I should stop saying the name of that product unless Logan Paul pays me. So yeah, I thought it was they had quite a lot of funny jokes in there. I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Like compared to like the last. I mean, I thought it was better than the last one, and I thought I don't remember what the one before that one was.
Was that still like the COVID specials? Was that like the post?
Oh, Streaming Wars.
Oh yeah, Streaming Wars was in there.
Yeah. So but yeah, it was one of those. It felt like a regular South Park episode, really, like a long one, but it felt like one of those, like So I thought it was pretty cool, and something that's like different. I do like, I like how it's called cred. Like I got cred, basically, like street cred. And just the people going crazy for that stuff.
Is it Clyde, the one that doesn't have any cred?
Yeah,
his parents don't want him?
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, he lied about having cred, exactly. Or I like how you mentioned, like Cartman mentioned about posers, like that guy, like one kid who's like a poser, like he doesn't even like it. He
just because he had like 10 bottles on his book bag or whatever.
Yeah,
Cartman only had 3. Yeah.
Oh man, it did it. I kind of Clyde got the. Oh man, I saw my man, the kid who got that disability, but he's like pretty bad.
Yeah,
like he was selling those creds.
Selling empty bottles.
He sold some a plastic bottle, so you can just put it up. Yeah, you can just fill it up with like this another some kind of food color.
He was like water and food color.
Yeah.
And Clyde put apple juice in it.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, he got caught with it, like with the fake one. But oh man, it was cool.
What were the groups that Cartman was like? We're gonna start a group,
affinity groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I like when they couldn't, like, the affinity group kind of went bad. They said, "Hey, why won't you?" And Butters was like, "Why don't we just do a group where we just talk like how like positive we are and how power like what we are." I said no. He said because we're a bunch of white kids, we're a bunch of white men, like boys. People don't like white power groups, so like that, like white power groups. Yeah, because that's the thing too. But I that's something I don't really pay attention to. But I know that's the thing about affinity groups, and like, because people positivity and stuff, but sometimes that goes Ori also. It's shit's a mess. But that was a cool episode. And yeah, I'm curious, like, because I'm guessing they're just doing a bunch of specials. I don't know when they're gonna have just a regular season.
Yeah.
I know they were in dispute, but I don't know if it's over. Because the dispute with them and HBO Max about South Park and stuff like that, because they had the series where they get the live shows, but Paramount get the specials.
Right.
And I know they were in dispute with them about like their contract. Cause HBO Max, like all their stuff now is coming on Netflix. Like every time I look at Netflix, like, oh look, another HBO, another
really?
WB movie is on there. Yeah, because almost all of them are up there now. Like I think there's a few more to go. Like Aquaman, I think is coming. Not the new Aquaman, but the Aquaman.
Which I didn't even realize.
Month.
Like I knew at some point that movie was coming out this year, but then just seeing people's reviews of it and stuff, I was like, oh. That did come out, didn't it? Jeez.
Yeah, and WB's put all their movies out at the same time. They have what? Willy Wonka, that, and The Color
that's
Purple
coming out this year too.
And they all just come out together.
God.
And they I guess they just say like they're just going to take advantage of this month. This is going to be ours. We're going to get all the money. We're going to take all the money. Because I don't know what. Because Disney's not really doing nothing.
No.
Really,
they got Wish.
Oh, yeah, they're not doing nothing this month. So yeah, they can do that. Yeah, Wish.
How dare you wait? That movie came out last month. Never mind then.
I think WB saw that and they were like, yeah, we taking over.
You're right, because that movie is out, and I forgot that it already came out. I was thinking that it was coming out like Christmas. It came out for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I could have sworn it. I never looked at see when it came out. I don't know. I've seen commercials for it, but it doesn't mean it came out yet.
Yeah,
because I've been seeing commercials for freaking Aquaman for a while. Yes. What did Aquaman get reviewed? Did the people like it?
Ones that I have seen have not been good. Apparently, Jason Momoa's performance is basically phoned in.
No, well, I mean, is he a good actor?
I don't know.
To be honest,
I have no idea because it sounds like he was kind of over the top in Fast and Furious, and I don't know if that's like good over the top or just like a bad actor over the top.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking the days I see him in, I mean, he didn't talk in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Really. So, and I mean, I seen him as a young kid in Baywatch, and he was horrible. But
that's because he was in Baywatch and he didn't have boobs, Dominic. I know how you feel.
I'm trying to think. Like, does it? Well, I never seen that series C.
The one on Apple.
Apple. Yeah, I never seen that, so I don't know. So what we got here? So that's it. So that's it for what we're watching. So we get to what we were playing. Yeah. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can go ahead. So I got back into playing Tears of the Kingdom. I followed the path to fight Ganon, basically, but I'm not at the end of the game. I think I've still got a little bit more as far as like the main quest stuff goes, and then I of course have a million side questy things to do if I choose to do that. But I did fight like a Phantom Ganon, and I beat him. So I think I'm getting close to the end, but I know there's like another temple, I believe, that I'm supposed to find another like sage or something in before I get to that. So I've got a little bit more. But the thing I've been playing a lot over these past 2 weeks is Link's Awakening DX HD. So some anonymous person.
Where is that at?
What's that?
Where are you playing that at? Is that like
on PC? So,
it's okay.
Yeah,
so it's emulated. Okay.
So some anonymous person just dropped on itch.io a port of Link's Awakening DX, the Game Boy Color version of Link's Awakening, on the PC. So it has like full widescreen support, seamless scrolling. You can use 4 items at a time instead of just the 2. It's really incredible. Like seeing
is that what it does on the Switch version?
No, the Switch version actually is the button mapping is different. You can use more items than just the 2 on the Switch version because you use like the boots on the triggers, and then it's more like I think I don't remember face button wise if you have all four available to you, but it's more like, okay, this item is assigned to this button, this item's assigned to this button kind of thing. But just going out into, because you start in the house like you do in the game is basically exactly the same. So you start out in the house and you just have, black border around the whole thing because the house is only so small. But then when you exit through the door and you see basically the entirety of the open world that fills your screen, it's just like incredible looking. And of course on the PC, it's also, crisp because it's a higher resolution, even though it's pixel art. You can also go into the menu and scroll out or in, like if you want a closer view or a further away view. So you can scroll out to see the entire island at one time and play like that. Now, I don't have a big enough monitor to really make out Link at that point, but the idea that potentially if you've got a big enough monitor, you could see the entire island while also, playing and being able to see Link's actions is pretty cool. And when I first started playing this, I was like, oh man, this is incredible. Of course, Nintendo has already cease and desisted, taken it down. So to find this, you will have to go through slightly more nefarious means than just going to itch.io, unfortunately. And it also makes me kind of sad because I don't know if now we'll get like any sort of revisions or updates to it. Now, I still see stuff for AM2R, that Metroid 2 remake, like getting updates and stuff. So maybe we will. Because when I first started playing this, I was like, man, I'm never going to play like the classic Game Boy version again because I have this version. Like this is it with like all the creature comforts and stuff like that. But there's enough that is just slightly off that makes it not quite the experience I want it to be. Like the seamless scrolling and the visuals and the 4 button, that stuff is all amazing. But there's just like slight things like enemies spawn a little quicker, or, this boss doesn't have the same weakness that it used to. And by weakness, I mean like even being able to attack it. So there's this like lost ruins that you go into, and like the entire path there, they're giving you arrows because in the original game you use arrows against this guy. And like I'm fighting him one morning and I'm like, I can't do any damage to him. I'm trying the sword, I'm trying the arrows, I'm trying basically every power that I have, and he's not being affected at all. And, I'm looking it up online, and all the guides for like the new Link's Awakening for the Switch is like, oh yeah, you just use a charged up sword. And I'm like, I did that. He's got a sword, or he's got a shield on the side. So I have to maybe make sure I'm like behind his back or over to the other side or something. So I'm doing all these things and I die a million times. And then I'm looking, and I find someone posted on like the itch.io forums about this boss. And they're like, yeah, you use the Pegasus boots against him. And of course I hadn't tried that yet because that's not how you beat that guy in that game. And instantly I beat him because you only have to hit him like 3 times with the Pegasus boots, and that's fine. But it's like, why would you change that? Like, I could see if this was the original incarnation of the game and the designers chose to make that the case because you're kind of making it so you can't sequence break the game, because like the bow and arrow you buy in the shop, whereas the Pegasus boots you have to have beaten a certain dungeon. So, and this guy comes after that dungeon. So I could see like, oh, if you want to lock somebody from trying to get to there quicker, you could make that item necessary to beat this guy. But if you're just remaking a game, basically a 1-for-1 remake in this case, outside of, like I said, the creature comforts, the quality of life stuff, like why would you make that choice to change this one very small element of the game? It's not like, a lot of the enemies or bosses have been changed. It's just this one. And it's like, did they, like, when they were working on it, did they remember it wrong? Did they did they just like change the wrong value or what? But it's so weird that like it's off by like that much. So there's this little like uncanny valleyness to the game in its entirety that makes it not quite the prime version of this game. It does make me want to revisit that Switch one though, because I think that, I mean, I love that game, but I didn't like the way that game performed. And I'd like to see maybe if it's at a point in emulation where it can run smoothly on a PC. Because I would like to revisit that game in that form, in the new upgraded form. But I just remember being kind of disappointed with the way it actually performed on the Switch. And that's kind of why I
get the Switch 2.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's why I kind of hope once we get a Switch 2, if they'll have like the Xbox style features of like, okay, all your games run better now, which I don't have much hope for.
You'll buy it again.
I was going to say, because it's Nintendo. And I would, unfortunately, but yeah, so that's an incredible project. And I so much appreciate the fact that this person came out and didn't put this out until they were done with it. Because you see so many of these like passion style projects that are like, I'm going to announce it and have this trailer, and I'm going to maybe have like an alpha demo of like this first section of the game. And then of course they get the cease and desist letter and then they stop working on it. Whereas like this was like, boom, here's the entire game. Also the source code. So like maybe that gives me a little more hope that like maybe somebody will pick it up and kind of tweak it to make it more true to the original. But man, it's such a cool thing to exist. I would love to see if somebody did that with like the seasons and the Oracle of Ages and Seasons games too. That would be amazing. I don't know if they would be able to take like the source code from this game and kind of port that over. But yeah, it's just for it to come out of nowhere basically and be this thing that, you know, I have such fond memories of from my childhood, and having like a new kind of coat of paint on it, meanwhile retaining the original visuals was just really awesome. So that's mainly what I've been playing though.
All right. So what I've been playing?
Yeah.
So I've been playing some Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh boy,
the PC version. Okay. Because I was like, I want to play the other one, but I don't remember none of the new one. Yeah, but I don't remember anything, and I didn't even play that DLC either.
Right.
So I played the one on PC, and I can use cheats and do anything I want, and it's cool doing that. The game definitely looks a whole lot better than what I played on the PS4. But thing is, it like I'm seeing the flaws of the game now that I didn't really mind before, but now since I've been playing a lot of other games, well, definitely the dialogue for the game. I mean, not the actual dialogue, like the performances, are horrible, and a lot of characters. Like I don't know what the coach is. I mean, compared to other Sony games, I'm like, what? Why the performances are so bad in this game? Like not the main character, but the character she talks to. Like some of the side characters are like they're side / main characters. Like because the people you talk to all the time, like they just be like, why are you talking like this? Like why is they thought this was a good performance? And yeah, I just don't get that. And also the climbing, like just that not knowing where to climb on the cliff, because it's just like, man, it's like, come on, it looks like there's some grooves here, I can just climb up, and I'm like, that kind of sucks that they make it so that you can't just climb on this rock like this. I don't know how they do it in the new game. Maybe it's a lot easier, or maybe they do let you climb more on things, I don't know.
You know what game does let you do that, Dominic? Zelda.
I know, but it also has a meter though where I can't just stay up there. It
does. You're right.
So that negates the negates everything because it's like, hey, if they didn't have a meter, then I'll be like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome. But no, they got it so I can get tired. So go fuck them. They can go fuck themselves. So anyway, but I do like the whole fighting the machines combat. It's still awesome to do. I really enjoy doing that, especially the big Tyrannosaurus Rex one. I mean, all of them have their special, like special ways you can do it, and use getting the certain arrows or other weapons to use, special weapons to use to defeat them. I really like that. But yeah, but I'm definitely seeing the flaws. Like I'm seeing the flaws of the game a lot more, and that it's like, man, this is not it's not what I remembered. Basically, like really liking like this game came out now. This is definitely be on the mediocre end. Like it'd be okay, a okay game. Definitely would not have been like no game of the year contender, honestly. And I'm looking at yeah, I was like, yeah, that's something. I think because expectations are different now. I think the expectations are definitely different for games now, and plus what I've seen what other single player games have done since. It's like, yeah, man, you gotta do better, man. You gotta up your game, Gorilla. So maybe they did in this other one, but I don't know. But based on the reviews for that game, I mean, I think it's all right, but it's not. I mean, it was not really like it didn't get as much props as the first one did, like the second one. So I'm wondering what the next game they do if they're doing a new game or Horizon 3, man. I think they definitely got to up it. And the way it's looking like people are just sticking with what they know. Like nobody's doing something different.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Guerrilla's just doing a Horizon 3.
Oh no, I think they've already. I know they announced like a multiplayer thing in the Horizon universe. I think they announced Horizon 3 too. But like, yeah, that's the problem. Is like all these big companies, especially, when they're spending as much money as they are for these AAA titles, like nobody wants to make sort of any type of risk. They don't want to take risks and then lose all that money, which is. Game companies need to learn to make smaller projects.
Yeah, I'm about to say maybe just to do small projects, man. Like movies. I mean, movies don't all be fucking big ass budgets, man. Like some of those WBs are small films. They don't make. I mean, they don't cost that much, and you might not see it like, oh, it's not in the top something in like for the week, but it makes its money though.
Yeah,
because it didn't cost as much.
Exactly.
All right, so I also played some Halo Infinite, because they got an update. They did put Firefight in there.
Oh, cool.
So I was playing some Firefight, and yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was Firefight. Firefight is kind of like the Horde mode, that they had originally in Reach, and they had in some other Halos after that.
Does it have matchmaking?
Yes, it's matchmaking. Yes. So yeah, that's what I was playing with randos, and. Yeah, it was like King of the Hill, where you had to go guard your point, and then they just spawn a whole lot of enemies close to there, attacking you. And yeah, man, I had a fun time playing that. It's all right, because I definitely did not want to play just regular multiplayer, because that's just like I haven't played that game in so long, and man, I wouldn't. I don't think and I didn't play like. The most fun I had with Halo multiplayer was Halo 5. I was doing really well because I was playing it a lot and doing pretty good, but that was a long time ago now. So now, it feels like a long time ago anyway. But I haven't played this game in so long, and just like I just don't have the patience to jump back in for that. So PvE is like, where is that for me? Like anything PvE, I'll do that. I wish there was more to this than Firefight, than just Horde mode. I wish there was like some other kind of PvE stuff with Halo to do. Where I wish there was something they could do in their Forge mode, where they could kind of make a not really like a campaignish type of thing, where people can make their own kind of campaigns or something.
Yeah,
like not full campaigns, but like some type of level, something where people can just jump in and play. I think they do have something close, but not really, but it's something where I can just jump like, hey, these are like you can just jump in with people like we're going to give you a random forge map or something and that somebody did that's PvE and you just kind of go through and shoot enemies and shit like that to get to the end of the stage. But yeah, I just want something more to it. But I mean, Halo, I mean it's got a lot to it. It's got a lot there for multiplayer and it's free. The multiplayer is free, so that's good. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting like, hey, you could just go up there and play. And I know some people because they talk about the player account and things of that nature. I don't know what the player count is on Xbox and on Steam. Last I saw, but it was real low, and I don't know what you do to make it better. I mean, I don't know what you do without changing just the game itself. Like, I don't know. Like, the player count now, is it good for them? Like, is the overall player count good for the company? Like, is this fine? If it's not fine, I don't know what the hell you do, honestly, because I don't want it to be any like type of Fortnite or nothing. Like I don't want it because that's not what Halo is. I mean, I see people bitch about Halo, but I see some people who say that they like it. They like it what it is. While some people complain about it, and I don't know what they want. Like, what do you want from Halo? To get better, like you just want Halo 3? Is that what it is? Like you just want that multiplayer? And for me, it's like I guess it's a feeling because I'm not into it like that. Like because I don't just feel like. I mean, no, it doesn't feel like Halo 3, but I never felt like Halo 3 was better either. You know, like that's for me personally. Now, like if your person is really into it. Maybe you can explain more why it's better. Because for me, I just feel like it's the same, but it feels a little different. But I don't know. It just seems like the same to me. Like this stuff. Like they add some stuff. Like I like Reach multiplayer. Like I really enjoy Reach multiplayer. I end up enjoying 5. I know some people hated 5 though, like because they added some of that stuff like the slide and like the boost thing, and the boost stuff that was good for me. Like I like that. And the aim down sights and stuff, man. I like. Come on, man. I mean, yeah, I that's good. I mean, I know Halo didn't do that, but I like it. And the thing is, they make it so that you don't have to aim down sights. Like it's still. Halo is still like probably one of the best shooters where you don't have to aim down sights, like and still it feels good doing that. It feels all right doing that, but whatever. Also, I played this game called Championship. Championship is similar to Vampire Survivors. It's a new game. I don't believe it's out yet. I know it's a demo out there and. Then there was a prologue, and I think I played the prologue, which is I haven't really looked very much at it. Like
Q1 2024 on Steam right now.
Yeah, and I don't know what the prologue exactly is, like story wise, you know. So and like because I was curious, so when I see the demo, I'm like, okay, what's the difference? Like, is a prologue really like its own game, and the demo is just a demo of the original, like what it's going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I played some of the prologue, and it's very similar to Vampire Survivors, but a more modern look to it, more arcadey, kind of cartoonish look. Yeah, don't get me started. I mean, Vampire Survivors technically didn't have a story either, but this does have a story. I just didn't pay attention to it, but like it does have like missions though as you play. Like, hey, do this, and I think it has some extra stuff too because you get scores. But it has it where you have these abilities and you level up and you can pick another ability or upgrade the ability you have to do more. Also, you can turn into a car.
Oh, you turn into I saw the car portion, but I didn't know you turned into the car.
Yeah, you turn into a car and that can do things like, I mean, it makes you travel faster around the course. Excuse me. Well, I guess the area or whatever. And also, you can run over enemies, and it has its own abilities, too, that you can upgrade if you choose to. Yeah, it's weird. I don't don't know how I feel about it. I don't hate it. I mean, it seems all right. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. Haven't scratched that itch of like Vampire Survivor, where I have to play this. But I'm gonna give this more of a shot. I just didn't play it again because Vampire Survivor put out a update recently, which I didn't put it up here, but I did play that game.
See, you've been playing that, yeah.
Yeah, and so Vampire Survivor, because they got the Adventure Mode update, so I played some of that, where the story is really just in the when you pick a stage where it has the text of the stage. That's where the story is. I played the old man, and honestly, it's nothing to really talk about. It's really just the gameplay. The gameplay changes. It starts you over, basically. Well, it sort of starts you over, and within that person's story with your ability. So you have to level up and go in to unlock new abilities. You don't just get everything like you already unlocked in the regular mode. But I think the story is about the old man trying to find a place just to find peace. And I don't know. I think it's something that's supposed to be funny, but I just didn't really read it to really get to it's nothing really serious. It's not what I thought it was. But I mean, the gameplay wise though, I mean, it's just Vampire Survivors. And thing is, I haven't played it in a while, so there's some new weapons I didn't unlock from the other DLCs and even this one. There was one weapon. What did it do? I know it was a sword weapon that I think I actually had that I played that last time I played it when it most recent DLCs, and I think the sword kind of goes around and cuts people up, and it sometimes randomly heals you also. There's some other abilities too that you can unlock. There's still a lot in this game that I haven't done, and them adding this DLC was great, and I believe this was free. So I'm playing it, so obviously I didn't pay for it, and I don't think you did pay for this one. So yeah, and it's cool because it gives you is more replayability with this and everything. And yeah, hold on, I want to look up some of the stories. Yeah, so you get different. Okay, all right, you get different goals. I know you on each stage, where it tells you to do a specific thing, and you can unlock something to move on to the next stage. I really want to just read some of the text, but maybe I should just start the game real quick. The one I'm doing is called the Garlic Paradise. It seems like that's the guy who has the garlic ability, you know, the shield thing around him that kind of bounces the enemies off.
The old guy with the cane.
Yes.
Okay.
So here we go. Yeah, all right. So here's the story. The story you play as the old guy Poe. It says Poe recalls a simpler time when surviving the madness of the forest and hoarding masses of garlic was all that mattered. And that's when you play the old Mad Force. So you play that chapter, and then you go to the next one. It says a wave of monsters awakens Poe, reminding him that modern life still stinks. Perhaps a loyal four-legged friend can show him the way. And that's where you get the dog. You have to find a dog. That dog that has those flowers come out his butt. Hold on. Look at that, lost Daniel. Hello. All right. Yeah. Lost you there. But all right. So what's the last thing you heard me say?
Four-legged friend.
Yeah, the dog that's the dog where that has the flowers come out his butt. Cause you could be that character. That's from the regular game. His name is Old Soul. Yeah, the dog's name Old Soul. Oh. Old Soul leads Poe deep into the forest to rescue a holy man with a retirement plan. Perhaps this priest will reward their stinky savior with guidance to the promised land. And then the next one is the path to the Garlic Paradise leads Poe into an orchard of arboreal nightmares. cut down these pernicious plants to find the verdant fields of dreams. And there's more, but I would have to scroll down, and I can't scroll down because it's a screenshot. So so that's all I can see. But yeah, that's how the story is. It goes. That's how it's told, really. So it's really you just basically just playing the stage and doing like the goal, and it just give you a little funny story that goes with it. And we're back. So now we're doing the flashback segment, and this is going to be basically the end of the rest of the month in games. Also going to do the covers since I haven't done the covers yet. So then by next week we'll probably be doing other covers.
Yep.
So ain't really much that's worth really talking about that came out because it is the end of the year. It's rare that you get a games that really come out at the end of the year, but you do get some. We got one. Peggle 2 has come out. Is this for the Xbox? What? All of them? Or because Xbox One just came out.
Yeah, this was for the Xbox One. I don't remember if that was like an exclusive type thing, but I believe it was the first time it was released because it came to the 360 according to Wiki in 2014, along with the PS4.
Well, you know what? That's what EA was doing. They were because that's what they were Titanfall.
Yeah.
Yep, and Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare.
Yeah.
The Xbox One version came out first, then the Xbox 360 version came out like a month later. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was that probably was like a deal behind doors where it's like, hey, come out on our thing first, like come out here first, and then bring out the other one.
And one day we'll consider buying you.
Yeah. All right. So Peggle 2 though, but Peggle 2, yeah, that was a great game. I really liked it. I played Peggle 1 some, and actually I think I played Peggle 2 more than 1. And I'm trying to think, did I even play Peggle 1 before Peggle 2, or did I play Peggle 2 first? I don't remember. But I know Peggle came out as like Peggle 1 came out as like a Games for Gold. So I did play that, but that's what I'm thinking. I think I tried out Peggle 2 because maybe it was a demo or something, and then I started playing Peggle 1 and realized like, hey man, this game is just addictive or whatever. It's one of those puzzle games, man. Like that just gets really addictive. Like that's really fun. That those PopCap has done, man. Like they make those games. Bejeweled and of course, Plants vs Zombies, and they just went off from there. What else we got here? We got Rust has come out. This was pretty big. I mean, it's probably been in early access like way before this.
Yeah.
This is probably the official launch, right?
Because I'm trying to remember what year were we listening to like that podcast with Anthony Gallegos and Arthur Geese talking about that game a lot. That had to be
it was Rebel FM.
Yeah,
Rebel FM. Yeah. Well, you know what, Daniel? I'm looking up here. It says release 2018. So maybe this is the early access.
Oh, okay.
So maybe this is when it's. But I thought I was listening to them talk about Rust when I was still at Target.
Yeah, I feel like 100% and we were still at Target. So
I'm looking at Wikipedia right here, and it says right here, released on Mac and Windows, February 8th, 2018.
Yeah, I see that.
And it released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One,
Okay, yeah, it was first released in early access in December of 2013. But like,
darn, man, I just maybe there's an early access, man, because I just can't believe that. Yeah, because I remember listening to them talk about Russ walking through Target, man.
Yeah.
I remember walking through Target. I don't remember me listening to Rebel FM much after Target.
I'm scrolling down through their list to see like what was their earliest episode, you know?
Yeah.
So in the 100s in 2011.
Yeah, I just remember. Yeah, I remember them talking about that game. really. But yeah, like this game, it was a game that once I looked up what it was, 'cause I came and talking about it, it's like, okay, what is this game? And then I realized like, oh, it's not a game I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And
Survival.
so yeah.
Was here for the nudity though.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was doing something. All right. I'm back. All right. So we talk about Rust. Yes. Yeah. It was like the survival games, and I think this is why one of the first time I really got to know what a survival game was. Not playing it, but just hearing about it. I think the first one I ever played, I honestly can't think of. I can't really think of it. I know I played Ark, but I feel like I played something before Ark that was a survival game. I don't know. What survival game have you played?
Basically, for me, the only one I can think of is the Don't Starve. And that's a different kind of survival thing. Yeah, because it's isometric cartoon.
See, I never played Don't Starve. I'm trying to think. I know I gotta have played something.
There's
that
like
was,
that.
Maybe the technically whatchamacallit is what's the game for Xbox? The zombie game?
Fudge. I'm blanking on it. The one that's coming out with the 3 soon, right? Well,
yeah.
Soon.
Zombie Xbox game.
State of Decay.
State of Decay, yeah. State of Decay was one. Yeah, that was basically a survival game, and maybe that's one of the first ones. I played This War of Mine, but I played State of Decay before that. Yeah, that's probably the first. Yeah, that's probably one of the first ones. That's probably one of the first ones I played. Yeah, because I'm looking at survival games right now. Like, yeah, I played This War of Mine. I did like that, but that's a different type of survival game. It's more like, to me, a strategy, like, because I'm not controlling a player. You know, I'm just controlling a community. This War of Mine, it's not the same as like Rust, where you are a player. You are the player. I never actually played Terraria. Whatever. What the fuck is that? Terraria? Yeah. I never played that. Even though I have it.
2D Minecraft.
Everywhere. Yeah, exactly. That's what I always hear is 2D Minecraft. RimWorld. Oh yeah, RimWorld. Yeah, I heard about that. Oh, I think of nasty things when I say that, Daniel. I don't. That porn has ruined it. The internet has ruined me with things like that. I just think of Rim Job or something. Every time I think of RimWorld. Yeah. So yeah, Subnautica, I did play that. Yeah, but yeah, it's probably the earliest game I played that was considered survival was State of Decay, and then I tried out Ark Survivors Evolved, and I realized I definitely didn't like Ark. State of Decay, the zombie stuff made it easier. The action of that, it was a little, it made it a little simpler, but it got old fast for me, too. Also, like I don't know what the end game is for that. That's the thing. State of Decay, I don't know what the end game is. If there's even it, like for the first one. And the second one, I think, that's multiplayer and everything, so I can see you just keep playing that, just keep playing and playing until you just fucking don't want to play no more. But, yeah, I don't know about the first one. Ark, I wish it wasn't. I wish it was more like... Well, I wish Ark was more like Skyrim, more like a Bethesda game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really thought it was.
Yeah.
The survival stuff of oh, I'm tired and I'm hungry, and then I gotta go poop, and
exactly.
I ain't got time for that shit, man.
Yeah, I just want to fight cool dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even get to that. I got to some dinosaurs killing, but it was even the stupid dinosaurs. All right, where are we at here? We are at it's a lot of games that came out and nothing. That's it. Yeah, it was a lot of downloadable games or old games. Hey, there's even a game for the Ouya, man. They had Killing Floor come out on the Ouya. So there you go. So yes, now we go back 20 years to 2003. There's only one game worth mentioning. Well, actually, no, it's more than one because I forgot. I put someone down here. So one game that's worth mentioning is Sonic Heroes, and that came out in Japan on almost I guess everything. I'm wondering, did it come on Xbox Japan too? Maybe it did.
Don't waste your time.
But Sonic Heroes came out. That was probably my favorite 3D Sonic game. At the time, I didn't really care for adventures or anything on Dreamcast, and this one came out where you have the 3 characters at once, where they're kind of back to back, and they, I don't know if they each has different abilities or anything, but it's like a team of 3, basically, and you go through the stages and whatever, like from the rear view, basically, and it was all right. It was an alright game. Not great or anything, but I was fine with it. What I played the with Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. But then there was some with the other characters. I think one was like Biggs the Cat and the Crocodile and something. And then that's when I was like, okay, I don't like these weirdos. I was like, I just want Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. That's all I want. I said I don't care about these other characters. And yeah, man, it was a fine game. I mean, it got like a rate around 7s, so it got an average score. So I think people overall, I think it's looked upon as one of the good Sonic 3D games. Really, out of all the ones, because there's been some bad ones out there, but the kids love it. The kids love these new ones. The stupid kids. All right. So you never played this one, did you? Sonic Heroes?
Nah, I never played Heroes.
Okay. All right. So what else we got here? We got Max Payne was released on Game Boy Advance 20 years ago. I didn't even know there was a Max Payne game out on the Game Boy Advance, but it was an isometric view, and I think they still have bullet time, right? Like you still can just dive and everything. So it was actually, it got rated pretty good. I mean, it got in the 7s, man. Like I think you say IGN, you give it like a 90. Yeah, man. So Rockstar, man, they were doing it on the handheld, man. Like, I mean, you know, they did like China Wars later on the 3DS Wars, and things like that.
I never played that. Did you ever try that out at all?
No, I never did try China Wars out because I don't like the Chinese, Daniel. I don't. The Chinese, no, Daniel. They're communists. And you know what? I can't do that.
Stealing all my copyrights.
So I was joking. No, I just never did. I never did, and I like even that emulation. I never thought about even going there. I think I forget about it. Like I always thought, like, oh, that's cool. The China Wars is good, but I always thought just like how the PSP Grand Theft Autos were. It's like, they're probably not worth my time. But now, like I'm thinking back, I'm like, man, they're probably okay. I probably should have gave them a shot. Yeah. Really. And the Chinatown Wars, I should have gave that a shot too, man. Like the triads and everything. So, I mean, yeah, they have all the gangs. I mean, they had that was the triads. I want to say there was a Yakuza. No, there wasn't. That's the only one they didn't do. Was a Yakuza one, wasn't it? There was nobody who was like a Japanese led Grand Theft Auto, like a side story.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think there was. They think that's the only one. Well, they covered their bases with China, Daniel. They just said, "Oh, that's the Asians." But no, yeah, that's the only gang really. They didn't do well. Obviously the cartel, but I always say they did the cartel and Smuggler's Run. Smuggler's Run that's the cartel game. And you know what? Maybe Midnight Club has some Japanese stuff in there with the Yakuza, you know, Daniel. So you can just say they covered the basis with that. But yeah, so you never played this on emulation or anything, Max Payne?
Nah.
On the Game of Advance?
Well, I'm trying to think if I did, because that would have been prime time for me to basically be playing everything. I might have touched it, especially because this would have been like right around the same time.
You would have remembered it, Dad. It was a great game. According to IGN.
I don't know. I mean, that stuff when I was doing the emulation for Game Boy Advance, it was basically like I'd touch everything, but I wouldn't necessarily spend a lot of time with much of anything. So I wouldn't even necessarily found out it was a good game But
You
this
were a
would have
whore.
been around the same
were a
time
game
as
whore.
Max Payne 2, right?
Yes.
Because we just talked about that. So I feel like I would have at least touched it because I was so into Max Payne 2. But it doesn't leave a lasting impression if I did.
It's just amazing how Nintendo, they, like, it was always, like, the Game Boy just got everything, man.
Yeah.
Like, the handheld just got all the stuff. There was, like, yeah, we ain't, like, this, you may have, like, the kiddie front, but we got the stuff for adults, too.
Yep. Like Leisure Suit
well,
Larry.
well, you know what? They were just doing like the South Park where they said like, "Hey, this is for adults, but it's for the kids." You know, the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. The kids only playing this. You can say like, the Max Payne's for your dad, and then the kids just playing it, or the Grand Theft Auto China Wars. All right. So what else we got here? We got Donkey Konga was released on the GameCube, Daniel, in Japan.
Oh.
So yeah, you got, isn't that the bongos?
That's the bongos.
Yeah. And darn, I didn't think it. For some reason, I thought it was older. I don't know. It's like 2003. That's after I graduated. I was already in college. Now
That makes sense though,
yeah.
because like I think when I got the bongos, I probably alongside like Jungle Beat or whatever the platforming one was, and that was like a while after it came out. But I was, I had a job and I was buying stuff with my own money at that point, so that makes sense.
Wait a minute, Jungle Beat is the Switch one?
No, there was another one on the GameCube with the bongos, but it was a platformer that you used the bongos for.
So Donkey Konga is just music.
Yeah, Konga is just music, but I think Jungle.
What came out first?
I think Konga did.
Oh, Konga came out first?
I think so.
I was going to say like, oh, that's the one I was thinking of, was the one you had, and then darn. For some reason, I just thought that shit came out earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, Jungle Beat came out December 16th, 2004.
Oh, man. So you can just buy that game if you already have the bongos.
Yep.
Oh, having to buy the bongos again. Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I got something in my mouth because I'm hungry. But yeah. So you never played Konga?
I had Konga. I don't think I spent much time with it, though. I'm sure I still got a copy of it around here somewhere. But
what kind of music did it have?
Much. Bongo-based music. I think it had surprisingly like modern stuff, like not.
I mean, I know they probably had the
level,
Jungle Beat. I mean, they had the DK rap, of course, right?
Of course, yeah. I'm trying to think if they did or not. I want to,
even though I don't know where the bongos are at in that. I mean, it's probably just a bongo.
There's
version.
a bongo solo in there. Yeah. Let's see. Wiki does it have a list of the songs here? Song list. Of course, you're gonna give me Monkey Rap from Donkey Kong 64. Yep, does have it, Dominic. It's got nursery rhymes. It's got La Bamba and Mambo Number 5. And then a lot of... Okay, let's see. Queen, We Will Rock You. Wild Thing. Lue Lue. The Locomotion. Stuff like that. Like popular stuff, but more from, like the 80s and...
Okay.
And early 90s.
Well, that's modern music for Japan then.
Well, the Japan had other stuff. Japan had J-pop stuff in it.
Oh, really? Oh,
but you're saying they got our music late, so it was modern to them at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what Japanese music sounds like that. Because when I listen to some of the anime stuff,
yeah,
I'll be like, this sounds like stuff that's like in the 80s.
Yeah. They're just getting this now.
All right. So where are we at here? That's it. That is it for 2003. So now we're going to 30 years ago, 1993, and Dragon Quest 1 and 2, the remakes were released on the Super Nintendo in Japan. And these were Dragon Quest 1 and 2, they were remade with the Super Nintendo graphics, and they added some other things to it, but it looked better up there. And yeah, I mean, I heard it's pretty good. And I did have, well, it was Dragon Warrior over here. Well, I don't know if they called that. Actually, I don't even know if this even came in America, honestly. But I know the first game is called Dragon Warrior on the Super Nintendo. My brother had that game. I kept thinking that was Final Fantasy. Because I mean, until I saw the cover like years later after Final Fantasy, I was like, "Oh, it was Dragon Warrior." My brother had. I thought that was Final Fantasy. My brother had, and because I remember playing that game when I was little. Well, I wouldn't call it playing. I'd call me starting the game and going nowhere because I didn't know how to read. Because I think like I was just learning. I think I just knew a few words, so I was like, I can't play this game. And honestly, I don't know if he even played it. I think he just saw the commercial because the commercial had you fighting a dragon, and I never see him play it that much. I think he probably said this game bullshit. This game bullshit. But anyway, yeah, Dragon Quest, of course, yeah, you know, it's one of the most popular game. It's one of the most popular RPGs, the most popular RPG in Japan, and in the U.S. it just didn't catch on as well. Final Fantasy is the one that caught on over here. So, what else we got here? We got Jungle Strike for, I think it was the Genesis version, because I don't have it up here, in Japan. This is EA, Electronic Arts. And I was trying to look up to see what came out. Did it come out in America first, or did it come out in Japan first? But in America, they didn't have an exact date. They just have the year. So the year's almost up. So I'm like, whatever. So Jungle Strike came out in 1993. I played this game on the Genesis. I remember I bought it from a friend of mine's, and this game, I mean, I love this game because I mean, you just go around, you're in a freaking helicopter and just shooting missiles down at soldiers and stuff. Well, at least I think they're soldiers. Maybe they were just civilians. I don't know. Now I'm thinking like this game probably was horrible, Daniel. I probably was just killing innocent people in these countries and stuff, and just blowing them up. Yeah, man, it's like an isometric view. You know, helicopter and just like you just shooting them down, shooting other helicopters, shooting like tanks and stuff. I mean, it was fun as hell, man. I love that game. I was like, yeah, war is cool, man. War is cool. Yeah. Yeah. Also, this is the last game. For 30 years ago, Phantasy Star 4 came out for the Genesis. This is the RPG that was published by Sega, and it got rated okay. I think it got rated around 70-something, or 8s or something, I think, on Metacritic. Excuse me. Yeah, I never played them. Never played a Phantasy Star. And I really didn't get into Phantasy Star until Phantasy Star Online came out. And I don't think I ever played that either. So, yeah, I don't know. But I think I tried it when it finally came out on, there was like a 360 HD something. And I think I played a demo of it. But I didn't really care for it then. Never really got a handle on Phantasy Star. It's never was my thing. But thing is, people did like it. Like, honestly, I used to think there was no RPGs on Sega Genesis, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know. I didn't talk about Phantasy Star. I was like,
you need to bring Phantasy Star back with Final Fantasy levels of production value.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know what Phantasy Star was. And I don't remember seeing no commercials for it, except for when it was the Master System. I remember that as a little kid, because I used to watch Ninja Turtles, and I remember seeing a commercial for that when the Master System with Phantasy Star, like, it was in a first-person view, and you kind of go through the dungeon and shit. But I didn't know what that was then, and that's the only thing I knew about it. I was like, oh, that. But, yeah, I didn't... Yeah, I just thought all RPGs were on Super Nintendo. JRPGs. Alright, so that's it. As far as games, so now we're going to covers, man. So now we're going to look at the magazine covers of 10 years ago in December. And we got Edge Magazine. And that is not Edge Magazine that I clicked on. I clicked on Game Informer by accident. But let me go to Edge real quick. And we got, the Face Off PlayStation 4 versus Xbox One. The hardware, the games, and the verdict. Now, there's two covers technically. There's a cover where the Xbox is in front because they wanted to be equal back then. They say they wanted to
Those
be equal.
boxes are so similar when I like go back and forth between the two covers. I'm like, oh, it did change, I guess.
But yes. So basically, I did talk about the two consoles and everything, and then they got over here Metal Gear Solid 5, Deep Down. I don't remember that game, Deep Down. You know what that is?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't recall what that was.
Beyond Two Souls. That has not come out yet?
Wait, is Deep Down that like demo that they showed off with the like old wizard that was like supposed to look incredible for PlayStation and then never came out?
I don't know. I don't remember that. I might have to see that. Card Hunter. What the hell is that? Yu-Gi-Oh or something? Pokemon X and Y and Sonic Lost World. Yeah, I know that one. Tokyo Game Show Special. Why Japan isn't ready for next gen gaming? Oh, they're not ready, Daniel.
Oh man, why not? Because they're too busy playing on their phones. Their newfangled technology phones.
Dark Souls 2, hands-on with the action RPG aiming to improve on perfection. And hard options, Nintendo's 2DS on tests. Plus, Valve's Steam controller. Oh yeah, Valve's getting a Steam controller, Daniel.
Yeah.
But man, the 2DS coming up, man, this is amazing. That yeah, that was the thing, and you couldn't freaking fold it.
Nope.
It was just
a wedge.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, a wedge.
So weird.
All right, so now we're going to Game Informer, and we got here Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, which will be like the game of the year of the next year, basically, because nothing really came out.
Yep.
But it was a good game.
It was a good game. You gotta give it some credit, yeah.
Decide who lives and dies in the stunning prequel to The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. I mean, that whole what's it called? The
Nemesis system.
Nemesis system, yeah.
We still haven't seen in any other game, basically.
Yeah, I mean you just have it.
Why didn't they have that in Harry Potter? Like something.
Man, they make that's what one complaint I heard somebody said about what they didn't like is that there was no rival. Student like Malfoy in the game. Like everybody is kind of good. Man, I don't know if they would say good, but it's just that it was nobody who was like a big antagonist or nothing.
Gotcha.
Like kids.
Is there an antagonist in that game though? I mean, I imagine there'd have to be. Right?
Yeah, there is. I don't tell me who.
It's Voldemort.
I have no idea. It's Voldemort. No, Voldemort is not even born yet. I don't think. Or he's a little kid. He's not a student.
It's Tom Riddle.
So I'm trying to think. The headmaster's not Dumbledore.
Oh, okay. So it's before. Yeah. It is like way before, right? The books.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but this game. I mean, you beat the game.
Yeah.
So Shadow of Mordor.
The end of the game was the least amazing part of that. That boss battle wasn't great, but everything up to it, I really liked because it took the Batman combat and then gave like this high level sense of movement. Like you could just basically run everywhere at like 5 times speed and parkour over all sorts of things. Of course, like it said, the Nemesis system was just amazing. Like the fact that you would think you would kill these orcs and then they would just like randomly come back out of nowhere, talk shit to you, and then be like, yeah, you remember me? I now have a metal plate over my face because you jabbed my eye out with that sword. But like, I'm back and now I'm tougher. Yeah, the fact that we haven't seen that, like, so Warner Brothers did that Mad Max game. I don't know, did they do anything like that in that? And now we're gonna see Justice League, the the Suicide Squad game. I wonder if they do something with that.
Yeah, the Superman comes back alive and comes at you.
Yeah, because you got to kill these guys, right? I mean, I know I've heard talk of like that Wonder Woman game that's in development potentially using it, but the fact that they like patented that system and don't let anybody else use it and then don't even use it themselves is just like such trash, because that would be so cool in like a superhero game like Spider-Man.
So they did patent it.
Yeah.
They patent it?
Yeah.
How do you... I don't know how you patent that.
I have no idea. Because remember, like, for a while, I forget what company it was, but it was like Atari or Capcom or something had patented being able to play like little mini games during load screens or something like that. So people weren't doing that. Like, yeah, the way you can patent like a design concept in a game is kind of wild to me.
Yeah. All right. So what's the next cover we got here? We got Xbox.
Yeah.
And we have Watch Dogs on the front here. Yep, this is like the big next gen game, man. It was like, oh man, this game looks so great.
Mm-hmm.
Like that and the Star Wars, what was it, 1313 or whatever it was called?
Yeah.
So Watch Dogs, yeah, definitely was looking forward to this. I was thinking of almost like it's like this is probably to be the modern Assassin's Creed or something, and like you can just control all the technology, like you got things like cameras and things, you can just control people's phones and stuff you can hack. I mean, and then graphically it looked gorgeous, you know, until we realized it did not look that good for what we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looked at the time, yeah, it looked like the screens and stuff and as you saw, man, it looked like, man, this looks real or something like that. And then you realize, it doesn't look. I mean, it still look good, but it doesn't look that good. That was a little disappointing. But we didn't know that yet at this time. And Watch Dogs hack the system, control the city. Ubisoft takes on Grand Theft Auto 5 with this brutal, high-tech, open-world revenge tale. I don't know about them taking on Grand Theft Auto 5, but yeah.
They thought they were going to at that point, Dominic. Come on.
Yeah. Nobody realized Grand Theft Auto 5 was going to be a 10-year plus game. Metal Gear Solid, Ground Zeroes comes out of hiding. And Dragon Age Inquisition, bigger, better, and blah, 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 blah. Romancer, because I can't see what it says. Titanfall, hands-on with the next-gen stunner. And Rise, Son of Rome, all the stabby details of multiplayer. Crimson Dragon, a cult classic, returns on Xbox One. And then everybody forgets it again. Are you ready for launch? Survive and thrive on our 10-page guide. And 14 Xbox Live Arcade gems you must play. Darn, when it's still called Xbox Live Arcade now.
Yeah.
Still called Xbox Live Arcade. Alright, let me get some of these freaking tabs out of here. Alright, that's it for 2013. So now we go on to 2003 to the official PlayStation Magazine. So you want this cover? Because I forgot to ask what covers you didn't care for.
I thought just because there weren't too many that we could just go over all of them. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't too bad.
All right. So Final Fantasy X-2. You got Yuna on the front, looking all sexy and stuff and everything. Got those two guns. So there you go. Also, you got some 8 playable PS2 games exclusive for the PlayStation Underground. I remember that. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X-2 plus prequel video. Okay. Are they really have a demo for that? Need for Speed Underground? Because I think they're trying to confuse me with that prequel video.
I think they did actually, because I was watching a Giant Bomb thing where they did. Because 10-2 is the one where they're like all 3 of the women and they're singers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a demo for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they didn't jet you. All right. Need for Speed Underground, 13, Castlevania. What Castlevania are we talking about here? And I Ninja and more.
I'm going to go with not a good one.
Well, that's cool they gave you Need for Speed Underground demo.
Yeah.
And 13? All right. So yeah, it does say demo right here. Final Fantasy X-2 demo review. Eternal Calm. I don't know what the fuck. Well, the Eternal Calm that's something in the game. That's because when they used to beat Sin was the big monster. There'll be a calm. It'll be some years between the next Sin comes up, and then they had to beat that. But now they beat Sin forever, so it's dead forever. So now they call it the Eternal Calm. All right. So I know you were curious of what that was, Daniel.
Yes.
So now you know.
I have eternal calm when I beat that game.
All right. So now we got Edge Magazine again. And we got the Winter Collection here. I guess they're showing all the games that's going to be coming out in the future. Here you got Star Wars, Rogue Squadron 3, 13, or that have come out. It's like a big mixture.
I was going to say, it's a mix, yeah.
Yeah, because we already talked about 13. Battlestar Galactica. Well, no, was a demo. Is it out too? I don't know. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
Battlestar
think we talked about it already.
Battlestar Galactica. I don't know. What game is that they have?
They were just filling space with that, Dominic.
Maximo versus Army of Zen. That is the sequel to the Maximo game, I believe.
Yeah.
Billy Hatcher, Giant Egg. We already talked about that game. Killer 7, Ratchet and Clank 2. That didn't come out yet. Hardware. I don't know if that's a game or that's just.
That just looks like
hardware.
A warthog from Halo.
That's what I thought it was.
That's what they want you to think.
You got Fable, Daniel.
Yeah.
Fable. Monster Hunter. Ninja Gaiden. Legacy of Kain Defiance. I'm not going to name all these. I was going to name some. This is not Minecraft. This is Gregory Horror Show. But he does be in Minecraft eventually, where it's a better place and people remember him, but not as his name. He looks like, I never heard of this game.
No,
Gregory
me neither.
Horror Show. BC. That was a game I was excited for.
Yeah.
Like, because I was thinking, like, oh, so it's like, I don't remember the exact details, but I do know it took place like you were a caveman or something, and you could. Was it like were you a character, or were you like I'm
trying to think if it was like a god game or if it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
I wasn't a god.
That one was like a direct control thing.
Yeah, but it was something about that game that it just made it sound so exciting. Like there was a growth to it. It kind of reminded me of Fable, like some of the promises and stuff they had. But wasn't that game? Was it BC canceled?
I don't remember. And typing in BC game is not helping me get any results. Video game.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Because I put early 2000s. BC was an action adventure game. Yeah, it was canceled. And it was Microsoft Studios published it, too.
Peter Molyneux needs to bring it back.
Intrepid Computer Entertainment, a satellite, of Lionhead, yeah. P1 review, MGN cancellation could have been due to the fact that Fable was further along in development than BC. BC would have been the great game. Brutal prehistoric combat. The world as a weapon. Games were discovered to create a multitude of deadly weapons. Yeah, man, I remember looking at this game and just really wanted it. All right, so yeah, that's the Edge one. So I see Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge. Up there, Return of the King, of course, Pop Idol. Oh my goodness,
Simon Cowell and
Simon Cowell. Project Gotham Racing 2, Armed and Dangerous. Oh, I remember that. Christmas Skies. I remember that too. Medal of Honor, Pacific Assault. All right, so let me see here. What we got here? What we got? Game Informer?
Game Informer.
Yes, this is great. World exclusive, Call of Duty Finest Hour. This was my first Call of Duty game because this was the first one on consoles too. So and this is the reason why I got it, because of this cover. When I read about it and how these were the Medal of Honor guys who did this, and I was like, oh, well, let me get this. And you get to play as 3 campaigns, and then they have the black guy with the tanks, the Black Squadron. I was like, yeah, I want to get this game, and I'm buying it, and I liked it. I really liked it. Of course, I didn't have PC to play the other one, so I didn't really give a shit about that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really enjoyed Call of Duty: The Finest Hour, because I was looking for a game at the Medal of Honor, because I didn't like I forgot what it was called. Pacific. It was called Pacific Assault. I forgot what it was called on the Pacific line, front line, for the console version. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah,
I didn't like that one. But I heard this one, like, and that wasn't done by those guys, so I was like, oh, so I gotta get this one. And like right here said, Medal of Honor's greatest competition comes from people who made Medal of Honor. Confused? Yes, I was confused at the time.
And now they're making Star Wars games? What?
And then, Leisure Suit Larry returns.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to this game too. This horrible game, but I played through.
Yep.
I played through the whole game because I was a horny little teenager. But video games. Well, I was technically a teenager. I was 19. I wasn't 20 yet. Video games. Most Notorious and Naughty Nerd strikes again. Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow. I know you were excited for this horrible stealth game. Sam Fisher Sneaks Online. 6 pages of top secret info and pics. And the next Resident Evil movie unveiled. And Holiday God. Look at that. I had that GameCube console, Daniel, briefly. And then I sold it. All right. So what else we have here? We got PC Gamer Mag. And we got Call of Duty on the front, Daniel. And this is the Call of Duty for the PC, of course. This is the big one. So it's earth-shattering. Exclusive review of the year's best shooter. Because the guys are back. The boys are back.
Boys are back
in
town.
It was like, yeah, we left EA. We left evil EA. And now we're with very nice Activision. And we're making great games again. We're making great war games again. And they just, they killed it. They killed it. They said, this is the one you need to play. No play that Medal of Honor shit anymore. What else we got here? Sim 101, PC Gamers Racing School. Then you have the 10 funniest games of all time. You see Beavis and Butthead over here, so I don't know why they're there.
The games were funny, Dominic. They weren't good to play. They were just funny.
Bonus, the new... Oh, that's what you were talking about. Athlon 64 processor. Come Half-Life 2, and you'll wish you had one.
Oh, I will come in Half-Life 2.
All right. Still the world's best-selling PC magazine. 25 pages of reviews. Homeworld, Jedi Academy, Republic, Secret Wars of World War II, Tiger Woods 2004, and NASCAR 2004. Yeah, this is all pre-Tiger, man. Pre-Tiger before it got caught with those whores or whatever. All right. So what else we have here? That's it. That's it for 2003. So they have one for 30 years ago in 1993.
Oh, yeah.
And we got the Turtles on front on Game Pro.
Uh-huh.
We got Leonardo beat up on the Shredder.
Wearing the tightest of spandex.
And I know, man. Darren, they're showing all those muscles. Tournament Fighters. And the Turtles take on Street Fighter 2. Yeah. Beat them up. Kick their ass. On Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Nintendo. And then they got Street Fighter 2 Arcade Strategy Guide in here also. Pro reviews of Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Toe Jam Arrow 2, yep, great game. Panic or Funkatron, Clay Fighter,
great game.
I like that game when I played it. Art of Fighting, I don't know what that is. Secret of Mana, Sleepheed. I always see Sleepheed, the shooter, like the is it the hell, the hell, what they call it? The like Galaga or something.
I don't know. I don't recognize
bullet like what's it called? Bullet hell shooter.
It looks like maybe it's something like that. Yeah.
All right. Lethal Enforcers. Because I think they came with another Sleep Heat like later on.
Yeah,
like
it looks like there's some more modern ones here. There's a PS2, Sleepy 2, The Lost Planet.
And this is Aladdin, of course, and more Crash and Burn with the 3DO hands-on, Daniel. And that's what it did, too. It crashed and burned. Game Pro Labs build the ultimate game systems. And System Shopper, which video game system should you buy? On page 46. If they told you to buy a 3DO, they should go to hell. And that's or a what's the other? Jaguar. Or a Lynx.
A Lynx, yeah.
Wait a minute. The Lynx is our Atari also, right? That's the handheld one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so they stick with cats.
Love a cat.
That was the
Love
thing. I didn't even think about that. All right, so that's it. So that is it for the flashback segment. So we take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. So first up, we have kind of a sad story here. James McCaffrey, the voice of Max Payne and Alex Casey in the Alan Wake games, who is basically kind of a stand-in for the Max Payne character, has passed away at 65. This news came out, I think, initially from what is the Dylan brother from Entourage, like his Instagram initially, and then there was kind of some like wonkiness about it, like people weren't sure if he knew that his friend passed away for some reason. They were saying like, oh, it's this little boy that he's talking about, and he's confused. But unfortunately it did come out via all the official channels. TMZ, of course, had reported it, and then Remedy had put up a post saying condolences to the family. And they're working on those Max Payne remakes, so I wonder what direction they go. With his passing, if obviously they could use the original audio. I don't know if that would be the quality that they're looking for out of those remakes, or they could just recast. But it's really unfortunate,
Wasn't he? Oh no, I'm thinking about somebody else. I was thinking about he's the voice actor, but not the guy that looks like Max Payne.
Correct.
No.
He's the game designer. Yeah, that's
game designer. Yeah, I'm about to say. I was like, did I just see him?
Yeah, that's Sam Lake.
Yeah.
So what's funny is like even in the game where Sam Lake is in Alan Wake 2, like they don't use Sam Lake's voice in that either. It's kind of funny. Yeah. All right. In other news, though, Dominic, this one's maybe a little happier for some gamers. Christmas is coming a few days late because at the end of December, on the 29th, Bobby Kotick is getting kicked to the curb. He is resigning from Activision following the merger, the acquisition from Microsoft. What do you think, Dominic? Are we going to eventually see him pop up somewhere else to continue to ruin people's lives, or is he just going to fade away into rich obscurity?
Yeah, I think that's it. At least from a game standpoint, I don't think we hear anything about him.
Rich obscurity. Yeah, if I'm him, like I'm not testing the waters. Like there's enough bad that came out around what was happening in my company. I'm just going to take my money and run, Dominic, be an angel investor or something, do some behind the scenes stuff, give some money to, Clarence Thomas, get some rulings in my favor, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I'm keep my nose clean in the public eye.
Yeah, like Matt Lauer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, in some other news, The Last of Us Factions, the multiplayer game from Naughty Dog, has actually been canceled. Basically, it sounds like the decision was made like either you make this game and then continue to support it for God only knows how long, or you make your next game, in the original Naughty Dog style of games. And obviously, I think people probably wanted to do that because I think a lot more people are interested in that. So in a lot of ways, it's sad that, theoretically a lot of people's work is going to maybe not see the light of day. I mean, I would imagine they would have to use some of the assets that they created for this game in their next Last of Us game. But, we're not going to see the fruits of some people's labor. But at the same time, if it means getting something more in line with what we would expect out of Naughty Dog than, another live service game that could potentially just be bilking people out of money, I'm kind of all for that.
There are people who want this because they always talk about how the multiplayer was great. And even the what was the other game they did before this? The
Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah, like they seem like they do pretty good with multiplayer. And it's just not. It's not like it's a big thing where like, oh yeah, you just hear people talk about it all the time. But when you hear people do talk about it, they say good things about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I don't know what happened with this project, whatever. But I mean, it's sad that it got canceled. But I hope they just move. I mean, I hope they make something original where I don't not another Last of Us.
Last of Us 3 and
Uncharted.
7 remakes of Last of Us 3.
Yeah, that's all I want, man. I'm just tired of just the same old thing.
You want something original like Jak and Daxter.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I think.
Well, that'll be original only because it hasn't been done.
Yeah, in a very long
forever
time.
Since PS2.
It is. I mean, we've talked about it before, but it is wild to me that they have not handed that license. Sony has not handed that license off to another developer to continue that franchise. Yeah, it sounds like Naughty Dog was trying to apply the Naughty Dog polish to a live service game, and that's maybe not what you can do. And I think, like we've talked about in the past and mentioned earlier in this podcast, like it's maybe time to reassess what games have to be. Like, I don't think even because it's coming from a studio like Naughty Dog, you have to create a live service game that is also, the pinnacle of graphics, the pinnacle of story, the Naughty Dog shine necessarily. If you're going to attempt to make a live service game, maybe make something a little more, take a Skunkworks team from Naughty Dog and have a couple of guys working on a thing. And then once you've developed that, bring in, more people that you need to finish it out. But it doesn't need to be this grand spectacle. It can be kind of this smaller project. And then if it gets the support, from the community, you can start to treat it like a Fortnite and, roll in updates constantly and stuff like that. And basically build a company off of that instead of having this already established game studio working on and kind of being tied down to this live service game in that way. It's kind of wild that, like you mentioned earlier, like you're seeing all of these game studios not want to take risks because they're building these huge things that are costing millions and millions of dollars when it feels like you don't have to do that. And I think that's proved out by some of these smaller indie games that we see every year being successful. Why not have like we saw with Epic making Shadow Complex, have a portion of the company create a smaller thing. So not only do you have more products coming out, diversifying your profile a little bit or your portfolio a little bit, but also, have these AAA studios doing something different,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's I wait, hold on. We're not talking about the Insomniac hack, are we?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So it can see like a lot of stuff you just said. It can be
It did
put there.
It does. It really does apply. Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned it now, but the Insomniac hack. So earlier this week, basically, there was a ransomware attack on Insomniac. The ransomers wanted like $200 million or something in Bitcoin and threatened to release all this stuff that they had taken from the servers. So Insomniac, of course, said no, and the hackers followed through and released, I think, like terabytes and terabytes of data, both personal employee records and game project stuff. Now, of course, we aren't going to talk about the personal stuff. That's an unfortunate side effect.
I don't even have it. I don't even have it. So I can't even talk about it if I wanted to.
I mean, I've just got this collection of Social Security numbers, but that's a whole other thing. No, I mean, and that's not really funny. It's an unfortunate side effect of all of this. But the game stuff, I think, is worth talking about because we are, game podcasters and we talk about video games. So kind of the big pieces here are they have release roadmaps basically. And this goes through 2030. First up, we're talking about Venom Lethal Protector, which is going to be a Miles Morales kind of side story. It sounds like you're going to play as Venom. Obviously, that's going to be in 2025. Wolverine, not actually coming out until 2026, it looks like now. A game that I initially thought we might see next year.
Yeah. Damn, yeah, next year. Oh, man. I was saying
I thought there was a possibility there.
I was saying 2025.
Yeah.
But darn, from like 2 years, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just take that out my
not worry about that for a while.
Yeah. Darn, I was bitching about Grand Theft Auto 6.
Exactly. Yeah. Then you have Spider-Man 3 coming in 2028. Now this one's weird because there's some information indicating that they might actually be doing this as a 2-part thing, with one part releasing in 2027 and then the second part releasing in 2028, and then like a full collection together in 2029. There's also some indication that there's multiplayer that's going to be launching alongside part 1. There was also some information that Spider-Man 2 would be getting some sort of online multiplayer component in 2024. But it sounds like Jason Schreier's reported that was canceled. Some of the financial information that came out of this leak indicates that like the budget that was originally allocated for that project is now no longer allocated for that project. So it sounds like, that may have been canceled. With the stuff that you kind of get from the side quests in Spider-Man 2, I would not be entirely surprised if they did some sort of like Spider-Verse multiplayer thing. I think that could be pretty cool if they developed it out from what we saw. After Spider-Man 3, we'd be looking at Ratchet and Clank in 2029, and then in excuse me, and then an X-Men game in 2023. And it sounds like basically Spider-Man 3 is the end of that Spider-Man series of games. And then with Wolverine and then this X-Men game, they're kind of moving in the direction of X-Men projects, because it sounds like there are other X-Men projects that don't officially have names or titles that are also on other roadmaps.
I'm
And then there's
surprised they're
also,
going back to Ratchet and Clank based on all this shit.
well, I honestly, yeah, especially because I think some of the reporting recently, and maybe it's actually coming out of these leaks now that I'm thinking about it, probably, is that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart hasn't sold particularly well.
But based on the Twitter people that I be seeing, Twitter experts, there's some that argue that it just didn't make as much money as Spider-Man, but it did make a profit. That's what they say. But I don't know what a profit is, because yes, I can see how much the game cost and then how much they made. How much is going back to the studio though? Like I don't know how.
Yeah, because you got studio, you got publisher, you got
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, yeah, I don't. I have no idea. And then with the Marvel stuff, there's licensing, and so I don't know like who gets all like what does the Marvel company or Disney, I guess, get like from that? I have no idea.
Well, don't worry, Dominic. In a mere matter of days, I'm sure someone will have parsed through the several terabytes of data and will have exact numbers for you, because I've already seen some of that stuff floating around, including like how many copies of Spider-Man 2 will have to have been sold at full price to make a profit on that game. Because I think that I don't want to say a number off the top of my head because now I don't remember, but it was, several $1 million to make that game's budget. And I think you had sent me a tweet even that, there's got to be some bean counter looking at the numbers and going, okay, Across the Spider-Verse cost this much to make and is generated this much in revenue, and Spider-Man 2, this video game, costs like double that to make and has only made us this much revenue. Like, why would we continue to make video games when we can make movies, especially since they're the same company and whatnot? So I think I hate to put it this way, but I think there are some positives that will be gleaned from this leak. Obviously, like the finding out about video game stuff is kind of fun, right? But like, I think seeing some of these numbers is going to allow for a level of transparency that we don't get from these companies.
Yeah, we get more from film.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And maybe we start seeing a change in that, because like, I think about it, and when we last recorded talking about Grand Theft Auto and being disappointed that we're seeing a trailer now, but not having that game come out for effectively a year, 2 years from now, if it's coming out holiday of 2025. But it's not like movie studios are keeping, projects that they're working on under wraps. I think it's more about adjusting the expectations, right? And that's, video games have been very bad at setting expectations and then meeting expectations as far as releases go. And obviously there are many more moving parts when developing a video game than a movie. But I think it would be in game development's best interest to move into a more, movie studio-esque position. I mean, we've already talked about that as far as like developers versus writers and actors, right? Like as far as unionization, it seems like maybe it would be a good idea for that level of transparency on like the studio level to also be applied to the games industry. And then, because then you get clearer answers about why you aren't going to see the next game. You're not going to see, Sunset Overdrive 2 because it made $400 in profit or whatever is the information that's going around right now, basically. Now, that's another situation where like then you had Microsoft involved publishing, and I wonder like, did they get some kind of like upfront deal so they didn't get, anything more off the back end than $400 or however it worked out. But again, when it comes to transparency, maybe that's, what we'd be interested in seeing. Now, studios still try and keep their secrets. Obviously, they even try and keep their secrets seemingly from, some of the employees so that they can keep more of the money than they should. Now, that's a whole different thing. Don't want that to happen, obviously. And they also like to keep their secrets about like on-set stuff. A lot of times, recently there were some Deadpool 3 leaks of some set photos, and Ryan Reynolds came out and basically said like, oh, this is unfortunate, I wanted people to see it the way I envisioned it and all that fun stuff. But he also played along with it and photoshopped in some fun stuff and did that whole thing. Now, to that point, there's also a Wolverine alpha leak of gameplay going around now that people are kind of dissecting. And
man, it's like, if you want to call it an alpha, man, this game ain't come out to like 2026, probably like whatever, pre-alpha or like whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the stuff that they're showing, is I mean, there's some like gray box test room kind of stuff, but there is some stuff that looks a little more finished level wise. There's replacement of CG with just like, storyboard stuff. But it looks like a Wolverine game developed by the guys who made the Spider-Man game. It's hard to say more than that right now. There's a level of mobility using the claws. Obviously, he's not swinging around. Combat looks very similar. Now, the interesting thing is that, this is their data. So like literally people are downloading this alpha and playing it on their own computers. I saw something earlier just before we started recording that it seemed like somebody found potential alpha build of Spider-Man 3 even. Obviously with that not coming until 2028, that that would be pretty raw, but it is wild that, people are able to pick through this stuff and find this.
Yeah, because that game's going to look totally different, because that's going to be probably a new system, maybe.
Potentially, yeah, because now that's one thing that hasn't come out of these leaks yet, because it seems like a lot. There's just an overabundance of information in these files that like we're going to be hearing about things that we didn't hear about initially. People grab the like headline stuff, but we're going to be hearing about stuff that's coming out of these leaks for weeks or months, because there's just so much data and probably so few people actually combing over it, because you don't want to risk, whatever litigation you might see. I mean, I've already seen that people are getting, DMC strike takedown letters from their service provider saying, hey, you downloaded this Wolverine thing. So obviously it's not in a lot of people's best interest to kind of get in the grime, but, shit, where was he going with this? What was it that I was seeing? Oh, the PlayStation stuff. So earlier this week, basically there was some talk that PlayStation Pro dev kits are starting to get out to developers, and kind of confirmation of some specs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of speculation that, there might be more information about systems like that coming out from this leak as well, because like who would have information about those systems earlier than a first-party studio working on some of their biggest games? So it would be kind of shocking to not see that information.
I saw something where like they were talking about potentially almost an outline. I didn't look at it closely though, of like Play Anywhere, almost similar to Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Also, there's information regarding, being able to play PlayStation Plus stuff across PC and mobile and things like that.
And that's good. That's good news.
Yes. Yeah, it's really, really wild that this happened. You know, this is why it is important, big companies, to have cybersecurity locked down, because this isn't, you know, this is someone getting into their, it sounds like they basically stole like 98% of one of their like current backup servers. And they got like admin access within minutes. So like they were able to get into their system somehow. You know, this could be as simple as, you know, someone clicking on the wrong link or what have you, or maybe it's an inside job. Who knows?
Don't put your passwords your name backwards in your passwords.
Also, like, maybe I don't know. Again, it would really have to be an inside job for it to be something physical. But like, excuse me, you still see so many people writing passwords on a sticky note and putting it on their monitor, right? Like, it's kind of crazy. So. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I got a big billboard on my house, so I can remember.
There you go. So that stuff is important, and it's important for people to know and remember that. And again, it's unfortunate, you know, the personal stuff, and hopefully, you know, people are going to have to deal with that. Obviously, you know, canceling credit cards and what have you related to their accounts. Hopefully, there isn't a lot of, you know, personal backlash on this, because at the end of the day, like, these video game leaks don't really matter. You know, we saw Grand Theft Auto 6 leak, and we saw early build footage of that stuff. But like, at the end of the day, when that game releases, who's going to care? You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be that big a deal.
No.
Now, with that said, it's kind of crazy to me that you and I were talking about it, but the person that hacked that or released that stuff, you know, a 16-year-old kid is now going to get a life sentence in, you know, a prison hospital or something like that. That seems kind of wild to me, that you would get any sort of life sentence for this kind of work. Again, because it sounds like, well, darn, man, you might as well have just hacked the fucking government then. Shit, you gotta go and launched a nuke, you know?
Yeah, damn.
That seems wild, especially because
that one's worth it.
I don't know, was there personal information on that one? Because like, at least with this, you can say like, you ruined a lot of people's lives by, you know, putting their social security numbers out and all that stuff. But
yeah, my nudes are all out there. I had them on one of my emails.
So keep that on your company laptop, Dominic. But yeah, it just I don't know. That seems disproportionate. But I guess I just don't know. But yeah, like, video games are supposed to be fun. So like, it's cool. We can talk about the fun video game stuff, but yeah, we don't need to talk about the other shit. Obviously, nobody cares about the other shit. So why would you even talk about that? And
yeah, exactly.
And
nobody ever does.
I mean, I'm sure there are people in the industry, in this company specifically, that are like, man, I can't wait until we present this game in the way that we want to. And then, you know, this stuff comes out and that's disappointing to them. And I feel for those people. But at the same time, just take a breath and go, hey, I still get to be a part of releasing this game.
Yeah. And plus, we still haven't seen the game, really.
Exactly.
We've seen a pre of it. And like, but look at the Grand Theft Auto thing. People are still excited for that game, and that pre-stuff is like meaningless now. Yeah. So like, just take solace in that you get to be a part of. Hopefully, you get to be a part of the final work, because I guess there's one last component. I guess I should mention of this, that it sounds like pre this leak, Sony was pressuring some of the internal companies, including Insomniac, to maybe lay some people off before the holidays. And because this came out, it sounds like that was at least delayed, which isn't good because it's only a delay. But at the same time, hey, maybe a delay is better than nothing. Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, now, yeah, because the just came out at least prepared, a little more prepared for it.
Well, I mean,
it
there's
tells
also
you
the
that-
aspect of like now I'm having to sit at home during my holiday break, going, hey, man, am I going to be one of the ones that's fired?
Well, there's no good way around that. But
No,
I
there's
feel
not.
like this: I'd rather still have the job while through the holidays than to be saying I lost the job and go through the holidays. But
Agreed.
the now, like about the money stuff, like I said, I don't know the details, but it's almost like you hope that, like, if they're going to be laying off people, well, I hope they don't make no money then, because that's why they laying them off. Because if you tell me they made a profit, because some people are spouting like, hey, Spider-Man 2, man, it made a profit. It made this much in the first 10 days.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. Then it looks bad then that they're laying people off. Say, what the fuck they laying them off then if they so successful? And this company's so... And that's why like... So when people talk about these studios, because they talk about them as like it's a person, but there's multiple people behind there. So when something like this happens, it's not. I don't feel it's like I used to. I used to feel that way because I ain't thinking of it that way. But now I think of a way as like it's just a company name, but it's people behind there. Like I don't look at it as like, oh, I love this studio. I don't hate studios either, but it's changed. Like BioWare is not BioWare like what I used to like back a long time ago.
Yeah.
And with Insomniac, like I get what they did in the history, but if it comes out that they lay off people, I mean I blame Sony, it's Sony, but still they're part of the company. Then I'm like, wait a minute, okay, they done so well, but they're laying off people. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is, and do I still look at them as being like, hey, this is a nice, successful company that makes some great games. Not saying they're not going to make great games anymore, but it's just that they just what does it matter if it's a great game? I mean, like, if they just going to lay off people. I mean, for me personally, yes, it doesn't affect me technically.
Because
like,
the people that made that game are no longer with that company anymore. So why do I care?
Yeah.
Why do I care if they're successful and make another game in that series if those people are gone that made it special?
Yeah, exactly. I don't look at the success is not. It's like I look at the success differently, but like that, like it's like yes, this company makes good games, but it's not like you're saying like, yeah, I love you guys. Who are you talking to?
I love this brand name.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like who are you talking to? Because some of those people aren't there anymore. Like who are you talking to when you say I love you guys? Mm-hmm. This is when some of those guys are gone. It's just some different guys.
I love the corporate structure that has been built to enable the ability to make low-level employees build this game.
Yeah, that's where I get and that's why it get me thinking and like man, I look at things differently because I can't say that. I can say like I used to always say like I love BioWare, I love Bethesda, I love I loved Bungie at the time, Square Enix and those guys, man. The Japanese, I don't know who the hell's still there, honestly.
Yeah, like
I don't know if any. I only see the guys you only show me. They're probably a totally different group. So I can't even say like, hey, these guys done a great job. Well, like Nintendo, like these guys done a great job. Man, ain't none of those motherfuckers was there for like a certain game. Probably they're probably all dead or they're doing something. They're all dead, but they're probably somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus, like it's like yeah. So it comes weird. I mean, I get what people are saying, but it's like you gotta think like. You could say, "Hey, this studio does great," and I feel bad for these specific people. But I'm not going to just say like I feel bad for Insomniac, like this Insomniac itself. I was like, I mean, I feel bad for the people who work there and who are affected by it. But I'm not going to because you just leave it at Insomniac. Some people are going to be gone, and there's going to be different people. But you just look at this as Insomniac, like it's a person.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like me saying like I feel bad for Walmart or something happens, you know, like come on, or you hate or like when you hate a company, like I hate what the the heads of the company are doing, but I don't hate
Every
the
individual
people all
person
in
that
there.
works there, yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate them. Because you make it, because that's what we do. We will make it like, oh, something happened in this company. They are horrible. But it's like, all the people who work there aren't horrible, though.
No.
It's like when a company's great, all the people who are there aren't great either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, real quick. $300 million was the budget for Spider-Man 2. Which
that's
effectively
I mean,
three times
that's a movie.
the budget
That's
of
a
the
movie.
first game.
That's like a movie budget. I mean, and actually, some movie budgets are smaller. They're like $250 million. Which I mean, I don't know how much money you're supposed to spend on these games, honestly. So I don't know.
Sure.
But 300 million, I mean, that is a lot of money. I don't know if that's too much money or maybe it's too little money. I have no fucking idea. And plus, what is that budget? Is that's include everybody within that studio? Like even just low, the guy who, maybe a janitor or something. Yeah. And then you also, in every company you always got people who probably on a payroll who don't really do shit. And I mean that's everything. So I mean it's a lot of shit that goes with that.
Yeah.
300 mil. And then what is the profit? Cause you can say oh, they made this amount of money, over 3 million. Maybe say they made 600 million or something like that. Mm. Is that good? Because how much of that profit goes to something else, or what was the expectations?
Right.
Because even though something makes technically more than what they used to pay, what was the expectations of what they say they wanted to go for? I don't know, because I always I mean, because I don't know what success is anymore. I don't know what the fuck that is. You tell me how many copies you sold. And then people always they try to do the math it's cost $60 or $70 for the game. It's but you can't go by that.
Because that's what I'm looking at a Kotaku article, and they're saying
I read that article.
At $300 million, basically they'd have to sell 7.2 million copies at full price to break even. The game has sold 6.1 million copies as of November 12th. Granted, we don't know if those were at full price or sale, what have you.
Exactly.
Or how many?
I mean, you know they're going to sell more. I mean, that's good. That's good that it sold that. I feel like that's good.
I mean, that's amazing. Honestly, that's I think
I said
the fastest
6.2
selling
million copies.
PlayStation 5 game or whatever.
Yeah, I said 6.2 million copies is great. But that's.
But they don't break even if they don't sell more than that, which is wild, right?
Yeah, but they are going to sell more, right?
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, but it really does put into perspective, how much did those Tomb Raider games cost then, and why was Square, not ever happy with what the return on investment there?
I'm if those Tomb Raider games can even cost that much.
I don't think they would put that much money into them to make that. I think if they got anywhere close to 150, they would be like, all right, we're just cutting it off right here. You can release
that's what I'm about to say.
game.
If they got close, I feel like it should have been a story with that. Somebody, because then I'll be like, oh, well, then I get it.
Yeah.
Then I get why it was too, but
too ambitious.
But then I look at the Spider-Man game. I look at how much it's what it did, what the game is. And then you get thinking well, I see this other game that, I mean, the Spider-Man game, the quality is great. But then look at another game that's something similar to Spider-Man, but they ain't spent as much. And I mean, did it have to cost that much? Yeah. But I don't know.
I mean, even when you compare Spider-Man 1 to Spider-Man 2, when you're talking about basically a 3 times multiplier on how much it costs to make that game, I don't know that you see that difference. The money is not on the screen, to use a movie parlance.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I need to see like hair follicles or something there or something like that, man.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, it's
I need to see
gonna
nose hairs
for a while.
When like you
Nose
get real close, you
hairs.
see the nose. Like you can put the camera close to the face of somebody, you see the
Little
nose
fuzzies
hairs.
that you get on your ears.
Yeah.
You see that.
It's just, I need to see somebody like, yeah, like, oh, they got lower earwax. They forgot to wash their ears right
Oh
there.
no.
Like on those NPCs. The NPCs, they look all good, yeah.
And you thought you wanted the clean face mods, huh? You want the dirty face mods.
I don't know, or maybe they pay their employees more, Daniel. I don't know.
That's not an option, though.
Maybe they say, hey, we pay our players over here.
How many more can we fire is, I think, what we're going to say. Yeah, so
and that's what happened. That's what they're going to lay off because they say, oh, we paid them a decent wage.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to pay that. We got to keep paying these people a decent wage, so we had to get rid of more of them. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't look forward to whenever we have to podcast and talk about the layoffs that occurred at Insomniac Studios.
Oh man, we're going to talk about that for a while, man. Like it's going to get bad, man. Like I don't. For anybody who thinks things like, okay, I can't wait till things get back normal. It's not.
No.
Listen. I'm telling people, get your gun licenses. I don't care if you don't get guns. Listen, just have one. Things are about to get rough.
Damn, Dominic. Damn.
I just don't feel like going to the classes and stuff, Daniel. I'm just gonna find where's those people who sell those guns behind the trucks like I see on TV.
You just gotta go in the gun store and yell like Second Amendment, and then you get your gun.
Like the people who be having it like in the trunk of their car, man, and say, "Hey, I got this and that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just want that." Yeah, that's all I want.
In the city where it's violent, Dominic. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's only gonna get worse, unfortunately. All right. Yeah. Did you have any other thoughts on the leak or any other news this week, Dominic?
No. I know there's been a lot of funny news about making fun of Greg Miller. Greg Miller was a big one because he talked about how he wasn't going to talk about the leak because of what, like how basically how wrong it is, like how it got leaked and how it hurts people and their jobs and stuff and everything like that. But it's a little hypocritical. Like, look, I'm okay if you're a person who does that, or you say, hey, I'm going to start doing that, and you start it. I ain't talking about you just start now. I mean, if you start now and from now on you do it, okay, fine. But I'm gonna call you out, and then if you start doing it now, so okay, hey, at least you stuck with you stuck to your guns. It's just that when you talked about other leaks before, it gets to be like, what are you doing? Like, why? It's like, what is about this one that got you to be like, oh, this is wrong.
Insomniac's giving me a paycheck.
And it's most likely, like someone said,
they're my friends over
said, you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah. It could be even as simple as, I personally know more people over there than I know have known at Capcom.
I mean, that's what I was about to say. He knows it, yes. And I think you need to be honest, though. Like, also, then be honest and say that, and then say, I can't personally do it.
Yeah. And I think that's actually how you get to that moment, right? Because it's like we talked about before recording. There does always have to be a catalyst or a moment where things change, right? So like if you're going to say going forward, I'm not going to talk about leaks, you have to say that. You can't just say, I'm not going to talk about this one. You have to say, I've come to the conclusion in looking at this one and the way it affects my friends and the people that I have relationships with at these studios, that leaks are bad, and I'm no longer going to talk about leaks. Because people have said, not just about leaks, but about any other situation. Yeah, like some situations they were against, but then they said, "Oh, this is close to home." That I feel differently now. That I understand, and I'm not going to do this, like of any type of situation, and that's fine. Like I totally get that. I get that, and that's why I wish he would have been more honest of just coming out and just say that. And because if I'm a person who like I worked at Rockstar or Suicide Squad or any of the Microsoft stuff, I'm like,
You asshole. Y'all fucking just
ruined my life.
Told all our shit, and y'all were just reporting it and just talking about it and everything and just laughing.
Yeah.
And now it's like
now
you say you're not going to talk about these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, yeah, you ain't talk about these guys. Now I ain't say like I want you to, but it's
talk
like,
about me. You better talk about that.
But yeah, if you come out and say that, they'll be like, oh, so now I mean I'm pissed off at you, but at least you learn now. But no, you just not talking about these guys because you know them. But it's okay to talk about me. It's like all the work I did. It's like, man, yeah, I don't know. That's some funny stuff. It's some funny stuff. And I don't think it's an Xbox thing. I think it's more of a because some people are putting it like it's a console war. I don't think it's just because of Sony. I think it's more Insomniac than Sony.
Yeah,
I think it's more Insomniac than Sony themselves. At least that's what I believe. Like, because if it is that's weird to me. That'll be weird. Like just because you just like Sony platform, that's a little weird. I think it's more of just Insomniac as a company because people do love them, even though the only games y'all buy were the Spider-Man games. So I always find that funny because I'm like, man, y'all don't be buying Ratchet and Clank games when they be coming out. But they did like the studio, even though they probably didn't buy the games.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys on the internet, those guys stuff. Of course, they got the game. Well, that's a lot. They probably got it for free because they work in company. So what I'm saying, anyway. But they like their games. They like their games, and they feel that way. I don't believe that the big wigs it's like I don't believe this like a bias in the sense of like. I just hate everything Microsoft. No, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's that. I think people have preferred what they prefer, but I don't think it's a strictly biased thing. I mean, I just find it funny how people point out. I mean, as a joke, I just think it's like one of those coincidences, and that things happen, and people just point out like, oh no, they're just biased. And I was like, I don't think they're biased.
You gotta just do your own research, Dominic, whatever. It's totally anti-Xbox bias.
Yeah, I mean, because Greg Miller, we already know that he's a PlayStation guy. I mean, I know this for years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he was doing on IGN.
That is what he has become successful off of.
Yeah, but I never knew him as a basher, though, of the Xbox.
No, I mean, he's usually overly positive on video games in general, which to his credit.
Exactly.
You need some of those voices sometimes to counterbalance the kind of doom and gloom that we sometimes provide.
All right. So yeah, that's all I got on it.
All right. New releases real quick, Dominic.
Yeah.
We got
I'm out. But for the games that's coming out, for some reason, I don't think all these are going to come out. I was feeling like something's going to be canceled.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like this is too many and that like something's not going to, or it's not going to be what I think. It's going to be a lot shorter than what I think it is. Like, I just have a feeling that Ratchet and Clank is not going to be, like, if there's something's being canceled, that's Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it would be chopping block material.
And I am mad that Insomniac is just making Marvel shit.
Yeah,
that kind of upsets me.
Yeah, I mean theoretically they have something in 2031 that is not licensed and new, but that's 2031.
That's 2031. That's 2031. Yeah. Like whatever. Nay, Daniel, how many people are going to still be working there? That's there now. There's going to be a bunch of people who just take over other people's projects.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's like whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it's just that because I almost feel like I like Insomniac, but I lost the studio too because I'm not going to get anything original from them.
Yeah,
till possibly 2031.
I think that's the biggest disappointment for me as far as like seeing this stuff is like now kind of knowing what we're getting from them for basically the next decade, you know?
Yeah, I miss the days when studios used to because there was a time like back in the video games, like they wouldn't stay with the franchise. Like they'll move on
Yeah.
to something else, and somebody else like will get the franchise because if it's still somewhat popular and they want to continue it, it's like fine.
That's why
because
I'd happily love for, Naughty Dog to move on to something original. Let someone else develop a Jak and Daxter game. We're even to the point, I know it's been talked about for Uncharted, but I feel like we're even kind of at the point for Last of Us at this juncture. Although I feel like maybe whatever, Neil Druckmann, is that his name? The head of the studio over there might be invested in that story, so he wants to see through to the end of, I guess, that trilogy. But yeah, it's something like Jak and Daxter, especially, that now that it's had such a long absence.
That's the thing. Last of Us is just, it did not feel like a trilogy. It didn't even feel like a freaking sequel.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those games that where I could see that it could have been a one-off.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like I just feel like now it's like if you're a big budget studio, it has to be a potential for a sequel.
Yep.
Where I feel like it shouldn't be.
That's, I think, talking about your like, what is success? I think that's the unfortunate measure of success nowadays is, will this game get a sequel? Instead of thinking about whether this story needs a sequel. But I think there's a level of it where everybody designs it with the intention of it being a trilogy. And I don't know, maybe this has been a video game thing longer than a movie thing, but do we sort of have, like the Lord of the Rings to blame for that? Because it's like, okay, we're going to make a trilogy out of this, and it's going to be the epic trilogy.
And epic, yep. It's going to be some epic or something like that.
It feels like that, at least in my lifetime, in my like cultural knowledge, it feels like that is the first time that it was decided that 3 of something means that it is epic, and it should be that way. I mean, I guess there's also Star Wars.
Well, Star Wars.
now that I say it out loud.
Yeah, and like it's like, you know what? And I know some people say like, what about the Mario's? Like Mario 1, 2, 3. Since Mario wasn't a story, and those games, each one was different.
No, there were just 3 Marios. It wasn't a trilogy of Marios.
And each one was different. I would say totally, but there were enough difference. Like they were different games. Like they
conceptually
were, they had
evolved.
a lot of, they were like. They really expanded on what it was. It wasn't just a simple like a story and where was a whole lot of similarities. Like they done things there. It's like a change. There was a change to the next game. Like it wasn't a story. It wasn't a story trilogy thing or anything like Mario World and stuff like that. It's just that's not the same. Yeah, those are not the same. And just like the Zeldas. They're not even numbered, and they are really evolved from each other, like totally different.
The first time I'm thinking of like that epic style trilogy for a Nintendo game would probably be like Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and that's, you know what, they were done by Americans, so that's why it's the Western developers.
Yeah,
it's the Western developers that do that. The Japanese guys don't really. I don't see things like that, like a canonical trilogy or thing. Except, the game I play, the RPG I play.
Yeah, Tales.
The Trails games. That's the closest thing. Yeah, but they usually don't. None of Final Fantasies are like the same story. Mm-hmm. If it's the same story, they'll do it like they'll say 10-2.
Yeah.
Like they do something stupid like that.
Yes, the Epic 12 trilogy. Yeah.
The 13-2, 13-3,
13,
and whatever.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because and even with the 13 one, it's almost like they were just trying to get their money's worth out of that same engine and everything.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like. That's what it was. you can't say that. That's not what it is with Spider-Man or
No.
the Last of Us stuff. That has to see like that's the goal because they don't feel like it's within the same like.
No, in fact, they're not even using the same engine, and that's why they keep putting out remakes because they have to get up to speed on the latest version of the engine that's going to run on this new system. That's both.
So it's not. Yeah, it's not them just making. Yeah, because I can see you make like the side stories they do with it, with The Last of Us, and they did with Uncharted. Mm-hmm. Those side stories. I don't mind that. Like, do that. Do you have to do a 2 or 3? Can you just do make a $30 game or something where you're
kind of an epilogue?
Basically, yeah, and just that continues the story, and then that'll be a smaller thing to do. It won't cost as much, and then you can just focus on something like brand fucking new.
Yeah.
Something that's a little more brighter and colorful, like I used to do with Banjo. Well, I said Banjo. Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot, and Darren Jack and Daxter. Not something with real people.
Yeah. Maybe one day, Dominic.
All right, I'm good, man.
All right. New releases real quick. We got House Flipper 2 out on the PC, and we got
Is this simple?
Wrath.
Like House Flipper? I'll be looking at it, but I still don't know. Like, is this simple like Power Wash?
Yep.
Power Wash Simulator?
It's basically exactly kind of like that. You go into a house that's, got dirty walls and mess everywhere, and you pick it up and you put up new wallpaper and you arrange furniture and stuff like that. It's a very chill style game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that and then Asgard's Wrath on the Quest 2 and Quest 3. I think we talked about that a little bit last time we recorded when we talked about the Game Awards. That game seems pretty cool. I think 2 is reviewing as well as 1 did, and 1 is hailed as, one of the best VR games around. So I'm glad to see that there's something coming out for people that are super into VR. That is all I've got for the week, Dominic. You got anything else for the people?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at RegulusMB. The podcast is at Supapod. SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all those kinds of places. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.